have hit the
Oh,
go
no.
live button. We are currently live. Is the thing.
While you send the invite, I'll just quickly take my jumper off because I'm inside and it's gonna get too hot.
That's fine. I figure we'll give like a minute or two for people to filter in, because like
Look at the wibbly hexagons.
Yeah. It's like I don't expect anyone to show up ever, but also if anyone does show up, I need them to see my good best friend Adam President, Mr. President Adam President. And I need them to understand how good a friend he is and how much we love him. And it's
how heartbroken we'd be if anything were to happen to him.
Nothing would ever happen to our good friend Mr. President Adam President, ever, because Leon is here and he would do anything to protect his best friend Mr. President Adam President. I don't know why this is the bit right now, but it is, and I am not sorry. But yeah, it's Resident Evil 6. It's gonna be a time.
That's the good one, right? We just did Resident Evil 3, and this is twice that, so it must be twice as good.
I mean, does it have Jill getting tongued by bugs and vomiting a lot? If not, then a good game, I say. Okay, I will choose my character, and I will send an invite.
Jill's not even in this one.
Just stupid.
She's gonna get tongued by any creatures of darkness.
My god. You wanna play Resident Evil 6 with me?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, stream's over, I guess. Thanks everyone for coming. It's been nice hanging out. We'll see you.
No one wants to play
time.
Resident Evil 6 ever. Oh. Last time it did it instantly, and this time it's searching for... Wait.
No, you're here. You're here. I
Yes!
see a fruity sprue ice.
Yes!
Yes! Hooray!
Wish I'd have spelled my own name right, but other than that, yes!
June 29th, 2013, Tall Oaks, USA! Leon, what are you doing?
Organic weapons are a global threat. Start working with the rest of the world. We have to come to tell them. It might create more problems. It's time to take responsibility. We want to have any always direction, Leon.
My god!
Stay right where you are.
It's not gonna, Leon, he's a zombie.
Leon, it's your best friend, Mr. President Adam President. What are you gonna do? And then there's this lady.
Also, Helena is also here for some reason.
He just wants a hug. Have we considered? Oh, I left my controller on my desk and it vibrated aggressively. Forget that controllers do that. This is tragic and horrible. I hate this game 0 out of 10. I just had to watch Leon fucking blow away his best friend, Mr. President, Adam President.
I did this.
You
And now we-
don't exist. You appeared for the first time ever in this cutscene, Helena. You will disappear at the end of the game.
This woman just showed up and told me it's her fault I had to kill my best friend.
How do you know my name?
Rip him and grip him.
Hi, TK.
TK.
Hunnigan.
God, you're both all right.
Oh, it's Hunnigan.
Hi, Hunnigan.
Roost.
How are you doing, friends?
Look,
Hunnigan, it's Leon.
But I need a report on your situation.
I had to kill my best friend, Mr. President, Adam President. It's horrible.
I just shot the president.
What are you already been infected by the time we found him?
It's,
He saved my life.
it's,
God help us.
Anytime you call Leon, it's just, you know something stupid's going on.
right.
Leon, what have you done now? I just shot the
Shot the
president.
president.
I am not surprised.
3 miles past the campus perimeter and it's not slowing down. You need to hurry. Not before we check out Tall Oaks Cathedral. Agent Kennedy's got a lead that might tell us who's responsible for this. Leon, is that you?
I might
Kind of
have
tried to
some
make
for you.
Leon a bit
I'll map out
grizzled.
the safest access.
A
It's
bit
very
edgy.
silly, and I don't.
Yeah. Leon,
Can't
you
say I
have to
like it.
shave. It doesn't work.
You know if
Right.
you come with me.
Okay, before we fully start, I do need to like check volume settings because the music was so loud compared to them.
I'll help by yelling, Leon! Leon!
Leon!
Adam,
I'm sorry, President. The President, Adam
so
President.
what's so special about this church? You have some sins to confess?
It's hard to explain. If I don't tell you at the cathedral, you may not believe me.
Cat,
Okay.
stop looking at Leon. I physically was not allowed
Yeah.
to not look at Leon.
Oh wait,
What's
chat
the yell
speaker.
button?
Elena.
Press everything. Am I not allowed to yell? I can do this.
I like your little dance. Okay, that should be better. Sorry, it was very important that I can I turn that? There we go. How are
Oh,
you
I can
doing
click
that?
to.
Whoa!
You click down on the analog stick. Oh, you're Jerry. Wait, how did you get your tick? Oh, you got that out. Okay, this analog stick just makes you face whatever direction your character's facing. If you click down on it, and the other one
Okay.
does that. I understand. I see what's going on.
Excuse us while we just mess around with the controls real fast. It's fine.
You're
Leon!
gonna tell me everything
Leon!
once we get to the cathedral. Deal?
Deal.
My head gets stuck on you for a second if I spin around, sorry. Oh, he was so happy when he was alive.
My best
He's
friend.
probably miserable now that he's dead.
Yeah. Don't
What do
remind
you
me.
miss most about him, Leo?
His smile.
His beautiful smile.
His beautiful smile and his cherub-like laugh. I don't know if that's a description for laughs, but he just sounded like a sweet, fat angel baby anytime he laughed. It was delightful, and God, I miss him.
Found a balloon.
Can we not
Balloon.
run in this fucking game?
Balloon.
I just want to run.
Well, I have a balloon, so what do you think? Oh!
Come on. Come on. Elena!
Sorry. I had to make him do it. Oh, hang on. I think I found it.
Come on!
Roger.
Over here!
Yeah!
Roger.
Over here!
Can it wait?
Come on!
Can
They're
it
still
wait?
so
One of them, blink to the
quiet.
head. It's
Yeah,
a
so this
flashback.
is co-op. Sorry, I realized I didn't mention that at all. Fruity and I are playing together. Fruity is playing as Helena. I am playing as Leon.
Helena!
This is where the reception
And
dinner right now.
it's gonna be great.
You think anyone survived?
I can't shoot the balloons, Kish.
I can't shoot
I
you.
hope so.
I can't shoot the balloons.
Friendly fire is off, by the way. I made sure to turn it off ahead of time, if for no other reason than
Can't
I
believe this is happening
didn't want to
again.
pull a Phil and accidentally
that
shoot
crap.
you and be like, why did you absorb my bullets with your body?
Survivors.
Well,
Body.
I'll never forget it.
Appreciate
We're
it.
going to this cathedral. of
Appreciate
freedom.
it.
If you really do have a hand in
How are
this,
you? How are you
can
doing
kiss your
that?
Freedom
Thanks,
goodbye.
Friend. I know.
not bad.
Not bad.
How are you? How are you doing this? I need to know.
Oh, I can do weird hand gestures. Oh, look at my finger guns.
Move in.
Move it.
Follow me.
You hold down B.
Oh god, that's a butt. You hold
Oh,
down
no.
what?
Hold down circle, sorry.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
Wrong controller.
Find out.
Yeah.
This is not, in fact, a Game Boy Advance.
Oh, I see.
Fall back.
Nice.
Fall back.
Good work.
Why am I saying fall back when the button says follow?
Fall
Good
back.
work.
I don't want...
Wait.
Nice.
Wait.
Fall back.
I'm also saying fall back.
Fall back. Fall back.
Move
Fall
it.
back.
Move in, fall back. Move in, fall back. Wait, how do we flop? Can we flop yet? Is flop allowed? Are we flop capable? I think we're not flop capable yet.
I don't think the flop can happen just yet, and it's honestly incredibly upsetting right now. Also, I hate this table maze. This maze of tables is horrible. Why can't I just push the chairs out of the way?
Yeah, look how big this bottle of champagne is.
Do you want to go splitsies on it? That is huge. What the fuck?
I was just looking at the snacks. Oh, I wish.
Hello?
They went out the back.
I'm sure it's fine.
Leon should go first.
I'm here.
No one knows who Helena is. We're here for Leon. Ben fell over. Watch out, Leon. Watch out, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy.
Don't shoot!
Who is this man? You're not my friend. I don't know you!
It's Coughing Man.
Are you alright?
Oh no. He's gonna do
fine.
the biggest
He's just
burp.
like that. Yeah, he is.
The fog. It came out of nowhere.
You can't pretend that's what's causing your cough, sir. We know.
Liz!
Real pea
Wait,
soup.
let me go! It's too dangerous.
Sir, you dropped your phone.
My daughter, she's all alone. If we don't do something... Right, I get it. But if you don't keep it down, you won't live to save her.
Leon, you have
please.
to shave.
Yeah. Buddy, come on.
Liz.
I know you don't get a lot of time to do anything, because it is just one mission after another for you, but...
Leon, we don't have time to...
We're making
but-
time.
Alina, we have
He'd
to
say
take
he
care of the
normally
baby.
makes time to be perfect, and he's... What the fuck just happened?
Huh?
The man is vibrating? Oh.
Huh?
He's vibrating and he's teleporting and he's sliding?
That's not... No, he's
Well,
not.
he's stopped now. He was before.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, kicks! I got kicks!
Scared.
How you got kicks?
R2.
Oh, I have a pistol weapon. It's stupid. I like how it's slowly unlocking moves for no obvious reason.
Right?
Can I shoot now?
Get back here.
Oh, I can. I've shot some food.
Move in. I owe you.
I'm going. I'm taking it very carefully and tactically. I'm covering all the angles. I was trying to find the dodge button, but it hasn't introduced that mechanic yet, I
there's
guess.
no dodges yet, and I'm very upset about it. Also, hi, Allie.
Yeah, I know there are dodges in this game, and they are perfect.
Do we not get it until the sewer? Are we not allowed to flop until we can flop in sewage?
That makes sense. That's a pretty Leon. That's very Resident Evil in general.
We need to find her.
Well, let's
Oh,
go
I
this way,
shot some
guess.
balloons.
We will. Just stay close.
They're dead now.
Thank you.
Leon, I need you to, like, aim properly,
Please stop
please.
aiming at me. I'm not.
Sorry.
Liz.
I was trying to aim up at the... was trying to aim up at the ceiling, but it, like, wouldn't let me, and then it would sometimes bring
I
out
know.
the gun just to get rid of it immediately.
Oh yeah,
my
you can do
friend.
that weird thing where you press shoot and aim at the same time.
It's your
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
You can do the special aim. Oh,
Well,
Coffin
it's-
Man's gone. Not real Coffin Man, fake Coffin Man. Oh, okay, like now he's got something to cough about.
I'm helping.
Ah! And then just shoots a gun.
This man is so wiggly. What is he doing?
Well, he was vibrating earlier, but you missed it, apparently.
You alright?
I'll send you that clip on the gun.
I will be
Good.
once I find my daughter.
Oh no,
Perfect.
it's spreading.
But we can cut off.
Grip it and rip
Oh,
it. No,
grip
I've
it
got
and
something
rip
in my
it.
throat. You heard it.
Follow me. Follow me.
Yum the dog.
No. I'm trying to
Oh.
say oh wait, I can't say no because my down button doesn't work. Right. Fuck!
It's locked, but I work here. I've got the keys.
Pretty please.
Once we're in, we can take my car.
Can't move
Thanks.
now.
Now let's find Liz and get the hell out of here. Get back here. Liz? Is that you? Move in.
Okay.
Let me run past you, sir.
There's nothing in the way, Gam. Why
Ah!
can't Leon fit?
It also won't let me run anymore. I just want to go fast. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, never mind. I can't run fast anymore. This is horrible.
Oh, there's some textures on that whiteboard, huh?
Yeah. It doesn't look good. Do a lot of the things in this game. Hey.
It's a little...
Over here.
You can tell where they really put effort into it, and you can also tell where they were like, no one will ever look at that.
Yeah.
Like,
but
this are a
jokes-
360 game, but yeah, we will always be looking in the wrong place.
Girl, I was about to shoot you. She doesn't look great, is the
She's
thing.
Got red on her.
Got red on you.
She's fine.
Dad, where are Mom and Liam?
Where's Liam?
They already got out.
I thought she
They're
said
waiting
Leon
for
for
us
a
at home.
second. It's like I'm right here.
Liam!
Probably not waste all my bullets on a bunch of nonsense
We are gonna run
things,
out of
but-
bullets before we get to the enemies.
Well, they're just making us stand here and not do anything. I want to do something.
How do we get out of this place?
Oh,
The underground parking lot.
Liam! Look what I got.
Whoa!
Doors up
Where'd you
Whoa.
get that?
Hopefully it's
Found it in my
still
bag.
We just casually were carrying a. Alright, I see. Okay. Oh!
And my gun is called Predator. You need a gun called Alien and we can make them fight.
It says I have 2 guns, but I don't think that's true. Oh,
That is, I think that might be a remote bomb.
Oh.
You might be putting C4 down in the White House, Leon.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh my god, to run past.
Yes, I put all of it away, and I'm assuming it's not blowing up just yet. So
Get this out of
I
our way.
tried shooting it and it didn't work.
I'm sorry, I was messing with my inventory.
It's fine, it's just a pleasant beeping in the background of this cutscene now.
Sorry, not sorry. Game, let me do something.
Got a blood ear.
Not the blood ear. Do you think she's got the neck worms?
I think blood ear is a symptom of Link's disease.
Oh no.
Such a deep reference.
You're going to be okay.
I don't think she's gonna be okay.
No, she got links. Better get some clay from a prison yard.
Heck. Well.
Liz?
Hi, Britt. How are you doing? Oh, this man's face. I'm doing better than this guy is.
He went, "Ah," and his mouth just did stuff, and it was very funny. You see, that I couldn't make the sound because I was trying to do what his face did.
I was doing what his face did and made the sound. Maybe
Dang,
maybe
how'd you
your
do
face
that?
is just not good. No,
How
sorry.
can you wiggle
wait.
your mouth that wide and still make the sound?
I don't know. I don't know. Gross.
Oh my god.
Ah!
How do I have
She's
to help?
so drunk. Hey!
Oh no! Do
Oh,
I have to do a thing?
You wiggle your analog stick, I think, until I shoot her, and then you just
maybe
shoot
I
her.
want to shoot her.
Jesus Christ! Also, congrats on 7 years.
Can't
That's
believe it.
awesome.
We'll get used to it. It's either them or us.
Oh dang!
And they don't
Happy,
hesitate.
I
wild.
assume, early anniversary. But here's to many more years for the two of yous. I can't
I
move.
don't think we're alone in here.
I
No,
can't
me
move. and
neither. I'm frozen.
Grab your gun.
There is noise happening. Ah!
Hey, I punched one and his head exploded.
Rad! Can I just kick everything?
I mean, who's telling you you can't? Oh, I hate the aiming. When you
Yeah, it's
aim,
not-
the red dot is just somewhere. It's not
Yeah.
like in the middle or anything. It's just around.
It goes where it wants to. Oh shit.
Okay, I've hit like one bullet, and now I'm trying to find the. Oh, I can flop.
Where? How? How you flop?
Wow.
How? How have you done this? You have to tell me.
You click down on the analog stick. It's stupid. Wow.
Which one? Left or
Wow.
right?
Left.
I'm clicking.
Are you aiming and then clicking?
No.
You to get the hell out of here.
Well.
Travis, please don't taunt me. Ah, there it is.
Hey! Whoa. This is how I walk now. Oh, I just did a regular duck somehow?
Hey! Hurry it up! Hurry it up!
Is she just like full mad as soon as... Is it because I mashed the button so much? Because I wanted to make a yell?
Possibly, probably. Thank you, Travis, for the contribution.
Leon, hurry it up!
Leon! Come here!
Oh, let me click the button. There we go.
Also, thank you, Britt. BB Shrimpson? Heck. I will also check that I am not shrimping.
Whoa.
Come on! Follow me! Follow me! Come here! Hey! Also, the fact that they just stood there that entire time and did not hear those zombies. Come on!
There's nothing we can do.
Also, thank you, TK. And Fruity, I guess.
I guess.
I guess.
Unbelievable. Why is
Listen, I'm
Leon not of his nice jacket anymore?
Because he's
Get the
silly.
hell out of here.
Because he's too
And
edgy
he's
for it, I guess.
Trying to grow facial hair, and I don't like this.
This
jack
Leon is
path
bad.
that Leon's going down.
This is a bad Leon. It's
Yeah,
a
this is
defective
low tier
Leon. He's got silly facial hair and a bad jacket, and he killed his best friend, Mr. President, Adam President.
I believe he did that. Just
so-
bang out of order, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're meant to be running up these stairs, but there were stairs, so I ran up them.
He said it was some sort of fog.
I'm coming.
If this thing spread in gas,
Now I'm rolling around upstairs.
I was gonna say I'm definitely like
That would be
rolling up them,
Yeah,
doing the good flops up the stairs.
got a bad feeling.
This is how I go downstairs now.
You front flip down them and then just scoot on your tushy.
Yeah. I assume this is exactly what they expected and intended to be, but the players to always be doing, because why else would they put the stupid flop in the game?
It's so silly,
Oh.
and I love it. What?
Oh, I did the double flop!
How?
Man.
How? Don't you have to
I
like
have
go
to see
one
if I can
way and then the
recreate.
other?
Yeah!
Yeah! Hey!
There's so much flop tech. Also, I did like a jump flop fault. Oh, whoops.
Oh.
Apparently I hit that at some point. Oh.
Well,
I'll get to you.
I go kick the man.
Oh, I
Oh!
can take cover for some reason. Leon,
Why?
take cover! Watch out!
No.
Oh, that's just cover! This is
I got a skill point.
nice! I don't know why there's a cover system. They're fucking zombie scam.
Right?
They're not known for their ranged attacks.
Ooh, herb. Or do we share pickups?
Yeah, when you get them, I think I can also get them.
Okay.
Because I just picked up that same herb that you just picked up, I think.
Okay, good. Then if I find items, I'll call them out to you. Oh, wait! Hey! Why is this a thing?
I have no idea. You like dropped in a cover out of the table.
Uh-huh.
How did you do that?
I dodged
Can't
off the
get down,
table.
I'm stuck.
So if you're facing the direction you want to go, flop off that way and keep pushing forward. Yeah!
Oh, you get down so fast.
I'm not sorry that this is what we're doing. At all. Ugh, my best friend, Mr. President, Adam President.
Sorry, did I make a cutscene with both of us, or just me?
Are you in a cutscene?
Yeah, I looked out window.
I didn't. There's no cutscene here.
It was for me. I looked out window. Oh,
I'm looking out a window and there's nothing there. What happened?
the zombie bit me.
So hi, stars.
Wait.
Hold on. I heard a thing. Are there Mr. Everywheres in this game?
I just drop kicked a zombie and they exploded.
Whoa!
I just wanted to share that.
Whoa!
You sure you're dead? Why am I taking cover here? Ah, oh no!
This is fun. Oh! Herb
I was
here.
crawling along the floor and his head came into my line of fire.
Ammo here.
Oh. I need that because I shoot inanimate objects a lot.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Here's the bird.
He opened the door so carefully. That was the president's favorite door. This is how I want it to be.
I mean,
He tripped.
yeah, I do like the trip over the bodies. No one is platonic for Leon. We all love Leon here.
What? How?
Huh?
One, why am I taking cover here? Two,
Yeah.
why is she boob jiggle when she take cover here?
Does it?
Yeah.
No.
Can you look closely at ladies' boobs?
Oh no, they do! Why?
Ma'am, please.
I wonder if there
Her
are any
breasts
survivors.
breasted breastily.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Zambi?
Oh, and stuff. He's got treasure up there, Leah. Leah!
Ah! Oh god, my camera! It wiggled
Is she
so
dead?
violently. Yeah, she's dead. She dead.
I'm gonna make all my herbs into one big herb.
Sorry, Stars over here says you're taking cover, but the sound of your bazongas jiggling alerts the guards.
It's a problem.
Holy shit. How do I... Hold on. You're running away from me, which is fine.
Sorry.
Skills? None.
Oh.
I have done skills. How did
What am I
go to
doing now? Why am I sideways?
my-
Why can I roll up the stairs?
Oh? How do I access that silly... I have 2 gun.
Oh, you have 2 gun.
I have 2 gun.
Ah.
How do I get to the menu where I can combine my herbs?
Triangle.
Thank you. Why did combining 2 make 3?
And if you combine 3 with 1, it makes 6. Because that's maths.
Oh!
Maths? Maybe you've heard of it.
I'm bad at maths, is the thing. I failed. I didn't actually, but
Oh, I did a hurricane rana!
Nice! Wait, I missed it. And it's horrible.
Kish is a man chasing you.
Yeah,
never
that's fine.
mind,
He
you
doesn't
said
have a
blow
head
up.
anymore. There were items on this podium over here, by the way.
Oh. I'll go get him. There's a zombie over there, and he's wibbling. I was gonna shoot him, but he wibbled, and then I got discouraged and left.
Ah!
Oh.
It's fine.
Sorry. I was
No, it's
picking up
fine.
the items.
I just want to kick the zombies, is the thing.
Well, I shot him in the bum until he fell down,
My
and
god.
I feel great. You have 2 guns, and you don't want to use. You want to use 0 guns.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just want to kick. Look at these high kicks.
My one's crap. Look at this. Look at this shit. Oh, never mind.
Whoa!
The kick that comes out second's alright, but the first one's this. I hear it. Just bops him on the noggin.
Leon,
Where's Leon?
hurry it up. This way.
It could be anywhere.
Hurry it up. Leon!
Leon!
Get to the security gate. It'll lead you off the campus.
Hunnigan scared me. Didn't realize she was listening in this whole time. I trip over Bondi. Whoa!
Oh, bloody got him.
Jesus! Would you like a sandwich? Or
I
a
would
really
love a
big
sandwich.
sushi roll? Why
Let
are
me
these
do
bits
the
of
silly
sushi so
duck.
big?
Hope you don't want any juice to go with that sandwich, because I shot it.
No, but I love the addition of the glass to the sandwich. It's perfect. Delicious. Gives it a little bite.
We
Stop.
got just running around kicking them.
It's fun! The kick
Yeah,
is very
Ooh,
good!
red herb over here.
Harb.
Give me that hammer.
Whoa!
Fuck your hammer. Does that make 6 tic-tacs? Yeah, that makes 6 tic-tacs straight up.
I forgot that they're Tic Tacs.
Yeah, you gotta eat your tic-tacs. Oh, I can slide on the sandwiches.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Whee!
I like the synchronized slides. Oh, you can't do this one though. Your character just goes, oh, 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 it's got spikes on it. I can't slide that.
Ah! It's fine.
I didn't realize there were any zombies left. Sorry.
Nope, it's fine.
I was
Again.
looking at fences.
I keep making the mistake of just wanting to melee these guys, and then they grab me. Also, stars. Thank you for the contribution.
Stars
Oh,
is
50% of the way there. Yeah, Stars is the one who's talking about your bazongas making too much noise.
I'm sorry about my bazongas, everyone. I'm sorry they're making so much racket.
Not the bazongas.
Oh, and a little slide.
Pop the balloons.
Why do I sometimes do a slide and sometimes do the roll? How did you do that slide?
I have my knife equipped. I don't know
Oh.
if that's... It does seem to only do a slide with a knife now, so...
It's locked. Hunnigan, can you open it?
Hunnigan
Sorry, not
Dalstock.
from here.
I will not calm down
Try
my
the staff building
bazongas.
behind the bleachers. I'm guessing you'll find keys for the gate there.
They're ruining the
Am I-
stream by being so loud. I love that animation. I want to jump over it, but there's spikes in the way.
Rudy, would you be okay with Allie changing her sound alert to you saying sorry about my bazongas?
Sure. You can do this. You can just run into everything for some reason. You have to press a button to run into them, by the way, otherwise they'll just stand there.
It's true.
Tripped on the zombie.
Yeah.
Oh, hey!
No!
Watch out for that. That blows up.
Hey, you good? Hold on a second. Before we do this, I do need to add my Tic Tacs to my thing.
Good idea. I'll just trip over the bodies while you're doing that.
Tripping is very good. Can I alert these zombies to our presence?
Do we have to try and open this door before the zombies are alerted?
Maybe.
This way.
Oh, wait.
This
Ammo.
No. Not allowed. Come this way instead. I'm sorry, I'll stop doing this.
No,
if you
never
want.
stop. Never stop. Hey, who wants to clip Free saying sorry about my bazongas so I don't have to?
There's no way out.
I'm on it. Just give me a minute.
Is zombie real now? No.
Why are they just like yeeting themselves in here?
Oh!
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Watch out, Kesh, there's so many. We can't take them all.
I don't know. Doing good
Oh,
so
no.
far.
I blew myself up again.
My God.
I was trying to get the thing to do it, and it wouldn't do the thing. Alright, no, it didn't do the thing because I tripped over the body like 15 times, I remember.
Those are restricted.
Pretty
Huh?
good for a college campus.
Wait, what?
Since when? I'm gonna have to look at that because that's incorrect. Oh, my body hurts. I
Oh.
Tic Tac.
How did that happen?
I've been getting attacked a lot because I'm just knifing dudes.
Any danger, Hunnigan? We gotta get out of here.
I've almost got it. Hang on.
Oh no,
keep
baby,
doing
don't open the cupboards.
The big silly shot, and it's great, actually. Oh! I counted! I did a parry! I smashed his head off.
Also, clips work now? What's happening? Why is Twitch like this?
Quick on it.
Also, I like that we could see the pickups. Oh, sorry. I thought didn't know what I was doing actually.
I didn't know I was doing a thing either. I thought Leo was just gonna shoot the man.
It seemed to have been a cutscene, and so I was like, okay, I'll just wait. And then he wasn't doing anything, and I'm like, wow, this is a weird cutscene.
I did get that impression that it was a cutscene.
There weren't any prompts on the screen.
Oh!
Like, I don't need the game to tell me what to do, but I do when it's in a cutscene and then suddenly decides it doesn't want to be a cutscene anymore.
Man had a jam accident.
Jamcident.
Oh,
What's this?
found bullets.
I found a weird blue thing
Oh!
that I'm not allowed to
nice.
pick up.
I shot it and it
Oh.
came up on the screen and said collect serpent emblems.
Yeah, I kicked it and that happened.
Okay.
We kick.
We can open all of the cupboards. Ah.
This is fine.
Dump them on the butt.
Stomp.
And then they
You
dropped
can
ammo.
Whoa. I got a skill
Took
point.
the ammo.
Let's
You getting
go.
up now, guy? Hey, that's one of those games where you're not allowed to shoot the zombies when they're down. You gotta
Ahead
wait
of
till they
time?
stand up.
It's stupid.
Gotta wait till they jump on you and start biting you. Not
That's
allowed
right.
to just shoot them. Oh, they are fine. They're right for stomping.
I guess Why does that
So
take
many
so
stones.
many?
I like. What? Let it, please.
Stop!
No.
Well,
Oh,
what just happened?
here you go. Have some Tic Tacs.
The zombie crawling in the background. What the fuck? I do love that she just like shoved the Tic Tac into his mouth.
Yeah. Had to do it.
Just like
It's a
you
serum.
you eat this now.
I kinda love that it takes 100 stomps so you can just stand there.
Wow! Well. Oh,
Did you fall over because I shot him in the head?
I think so.
Sorry, I didn't know that
No,
would
it's-
happen.
It's fine. It happens.
Stomp in the butt. Oh, I'm tired. Cash, help, I'm tired. My stomps are weak. I got tuckered out and my stomps stopped being as effective.
Is that what that bar is?
I think so. It went back up when I ate a Tic Tac. The one under the health.
Yeah.
Oh, the hurricane ran!
Hey! That's rad, and I love that. I just stomped that man's head off.
Nice.
Also, I should
Doing
probably like fully
Wrestling
heal
with
up.
some zombies. Having a great old time.
There we go. Yeah, I hate that the reticle just like moves around as it
Yeah,
wants.
it's so bad.
Don't
It just
like
drifts away.
it.
It's like you're aiming and you can see where the dot should be, and it's just like, nah, I'm off. I'm out. Oh, sorry, I clicked it too soon. We only
No,
get to
that's
shout.
okay. I will always spam the button, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. It'll make the times when I do start shouting even more special. Well,
Leon, you should have known better. Oh, he slid up
yeah, he
without
did.
like moving. Oh, I can't go over there. I can just. Are they like doing anything to anyone, or are you just mad? Oh, that's one.
Oh, here's another.
Nice. You can stomp them on their head and they die.
This one is in the stairs. It's
Huh.
not. He's dead now.
he turned into goof.
He goofa. Get him! Get him! Yeah!
I like it when she chopped the head.
Oh.
Heck, we did it at the same time.
Take a right up
Too
ahead.
synchronized.
You're almost there. Keep running.
Someone is honking back here.
There's lots.
How many are there? Whoa! That one zombie just like threw itself at you.
Hey, I found a.
Oh.
Oh. I mean, you found a police car. Obviously.
Damn it, no keys.
Leon got the key. Are you doing stuff? Because I'm not.
I'm looking.
What about the glove compartment?
Oh, could I have on that?
Nothing.
Checking the car.
I don't have any bone prompts.
Hold on. Found the keys.
It wasn't.
I can look around, but I can't do anything.
It was letting me look, but then it wasn't like letting me like interact with anything.
It's clear
Huh.
behind us. Back up.
I guess I
Is
just
it?
had to like look at
How
it
do
for
I know
long
that?
enough.
Buckled in?
Ah,
What is happening right now?
the game's playing itself. We might be at the sewers soon, so we can jump in the poops.
And then that's the furthest I've ever played.
Just gotta get their tap.
Without getting killed.
How many are in there?
My God.
can't believe Leon S. Kennedy is fucking dead.
I like that they, like, didn't really get anywhere.
Helena, are you two alright?
Eh, we're fine.
Sue us!
But we need another way to the
Sue
cathedral.
us! Sue us! Sue us! Sue us!
Underground route that may be
Also, I think I took it out.
Sewers, huh? Great.
Yeah, same.
Okay. The thing went red? Did the bar under the health? And also,
Yeah.
I had a tummy ache.
Yeah.
Leon, let's go in the sewers. I didn't realize it was a I can yell at Leon section.
I didn't realize I couldn't activate it from the other side.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I was standing there being like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the prompt to come up. And then it never did. What do you mean today is cursed? Oh.
You just
You're not my
touch in my eyes.
You're not my girlfriend. You're not Ada.
It's true. I am but Helena.
Helena, hurry!
We should hurry.
What's the matter? Not a fan of sewers?
Come on. Let's just...
Sorry, he said that with the energy of like a one-liner. Leon, most people aren't fans of sewers.
Everything we know about the
Look, it's
I'm
my
fans of sewers. Leon's
my-
a fan of sewers.
best friend, Mr. President, Adam President, and his greasy face.
Remember when he was alive? Remember his beautiful greasy face? And his two-tone hair?
His melty glasses and his...
bioorganic weapons.
I remember how alive he was, most of all. Tragic.
Start working with the rest of the world. We would have any chance to fight this. Whatever you decide, sir. I'm with
Leon,
you.
it's the past. Why are you still growing the stupid stubble? I don't like it.
It's to show that he's, you know, he's not a baby anymore.
He's always
oh,
baby.
no.
Leon is always baby.
More
He's
like
a goober.
baby girl.
It's gonna be a tough road.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. I just love Leon. I'm sad for this Leon arc.
Let's get moving.
It's fine.
We don't have much time.
We know that
Got our work cut out
Hey,
for us.
Freddy.
Believe me.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Look, look at me. Look.
I'm looking at you. You can't tell I'm looking at you because my character's facing the other way. What? Oh, I can't go in. How come you can go in? Oh, now in. That's bad. Ah, it came out again. How does this keep happening? Oh, there we go. That's the good stuff. Oh, you can do a little butt shuffle backwards if you go forwards and then backwards.
Yeah.
You can do a little poopy butt shuffle. Hey, you did the poopy butt shuffle, I saw it.
I'm gonna die.
I think we had to stop here last time because we were laughing too much.
It was really late and we were both very tired and it was so funny.
And then started doing the poopy butt shovel and it was just over.
Oh my god. My face hurts so much.
Why am I not allowed to door? Oh, it's a Leon only door, I
It's a
see.
Leon only
Leon.
door.
Helena, we'll be out of contact when you're in there. I'll still be tracking your movements.
Oh.
But be careful.
We just love to flop in the sewers.
I'm Sorry, the flop is like what makes this game. Oh, you're like way ahead of me. Sorry, I'm so busy just like flopping around.
Ah! He flew.
Yeah, they do that sometimes. Leon, please, you have to step on the man.
I suit he had.
You silky head. Why you silky head? I don't have any herbs.
Can I give you Tic Tacs?
I mean, I got some. We good. I just want more.
We just fought doing this. This is how we move it. I did the slide again!
How do you wait.
It just comes out sometimes, huh? Oh, zombies?
Yeah.
I was just doing
I was gonna tell you, but then I just was like, I have to shoot.
Train
What
coming.
Oh.
I almost didn't hit the button.
I didn't know what was happening, and then buttons came on, and it's fine now.
Yeah.
All zombies are gone. We're good to just keep rolling.
The zombies are very bad at QTEs, is the thing.
Yeah. There's a little crate down here. Can I rush? Can I go in here? Sorry, I'm exploring.
No, this is fine.
Oh, please.
Wait. No, go back
No,
to it
she
again.
ran away. Go, go.
It's
Go.
little
Go.
kinky feet for me.
She won't go in.
Also, Stars, you were so right. The poopy butt shovel is the new wedding dance. It happens right after the electric slide. Who's screaming?
He did the
Okay.
slide.
I think if you push. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how I did that. Oh, okay. So if you hold down L3, you run, and then if you do L2, you slide.
Oh, this dog.
Oh!
Dog.
Hi, dog. I kick dog! Ah! Thank you.
Sorry, I was doing a stupid move for no reason, and then the dog started eating you.
Yeah, it happens. Don't worry about it.
Oh, they
Leon,
don't stop coming.
you can't elbow the dog!
You can elbow the dog. That's not in the rules that says you can't elbow a dog.
No, dog's too low! Dog is too low. I physically cannot elbow a dog. Look at this chunky little rat. Well, little. That's a big guy. That's a big little guy right there. Hi, buddy. You're safe. You're safe in this game, I promise.
Yeah.
There's no merchant here to ask me to do murders on you. Okay, I like this. I think I like the slide.
It's very good. I like the sideways ones too.
Yeah.
Can I do a combo one with a sideways one in it? No, doesn't look like it.
Someone is honking up here.
Oh yeah, so I'm getting in the neck
Get
toenail.
chopped!
It's Leon with the kick. With the super. Ah!
Woo! Ah!
Kevin Trent.
I panicked. There were no prompts, and I just hit all of the buttons because I was gonna fucking die.
I was worried you hadn't hit the buttons.
It didn't tell me to hit any buttons. I thought I
You
was
just
dead.
apparently you hit the right ones.
Thank
You
God.
knew what I was thinking of.
Because it definitely looked like I got hit by that train.
He punched me. Oh, he stabbed his head off.
Stabbed his head off. I said, "Fuck your head."
Why are they on fire?
Oh.
Why did they make this choice? Oh, he's gonna do the hop. Never mind. He's throwing up now, is there?
So no head? Just imagine me stomping on a skateboard.
Ah!
Whoa! Hey!
Who does that?
Can we? We can't run through that.
Can we turn it off? Oh. Can we turn it off at this side? Am I a technician?
Elena,
Oh, never mind.
come on.
Yeah, okay, I guess we can go this way if we really want.
I guess. Okay, I should probably just use the
How's
one
that
gun.
for
The two
timing?
guns, not good. Whoa! Help! Help! The bubbling noises that they make are very bad.
Ah, I was really hoping I could roll through the barrel to break it.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'll
it's
let
fine.
you-
It didn't work. On my screen, I got to it first, and it didn't break.
Oh, okay.
It's very disappointing.
Okay.
You can try it next time.
No.
Maybe you need the host privileges to do
Whoa,
that move.
there's another thing under there. Another little snake emblem thing.
On my screen, it looked like you missed by a mile, because I think we both have to shoot them individually.
Yeah. Which is silly. I think if one of us does it, it should count for both of us. But what do I know?
Yeah. No
Elena.
one has to do the things. There's some men running over there.
Wait. Let me get a bomb out.
This is a nightmare.
It's fine. Put it down.
Doing some very
You should not be
ambitious
over there.
kicks. Oh, that's what you were doing. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, hey.
How do you switch gun quick? Oh, I also have mines. Oh my god, I did a slide and then I shot a man's head off. And then we exploded. It's
I
fine.
got bodied by a fucking train! Yes, I would
Kayshurrr.
like to continue.
Kayshurrr was deciding on another session.
Well, I decided yes. Again, didn't get any prompts. So I guess only... Oh, we have to shoot the thing again. We don't have to. But
I
if
was
you-
getting
if you
grabbed
wanna.
by a zombie, so I wouldn't have been able to do any prompts.
Yeah, it just didn't give it, so I assume...
Can we go on this side and not have to worry about the train? or-
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. I do want to try to use that bomb again because it did take out some dudes and it was very funny. It would have taken out more, except for the fact that I didn't know how to activate it for a minute.
You never like. Just jump it over here.
I like it when they chunk. Ah! I wasn't
Where
even
does
on
the
the
train
track!
come from? Where is train? What is happening?
I don't know.
Where? What is train?
What exactly is a train?
Who was train? Which track is it even on?
I think it's on the right-hand side.
I can see it when I was
you
stood up.
You just fell in place.
It's a good move. And then you go. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Okay, game, be nice.
So you think it's on the track I'm looking at now?
I think it's
when
on
you're
this
on now.
track. Yeah. So we exclusively stay on this track.
Never go on that track. Bad track.
Don't even go in the middle because I was
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
standing here and it got me.
Yeah, I'm
apparently.
not. I'm not sure any train should be going there.
Look out!
Okay, I'm ready to press buttons. Okay, train. Train goes past, everyone's fine. Oh! You did a crap call.
That was amazing.
Keep stomping on his donga.
Well, he wasn't using it.
There's a zombie.
I'm scared to be on any train tracks now, is the thing.
It's fine, we're past the trend now.
Hmm.
What are the
We're
odds there'd be
past-
2 trends on the same track?
We are past a train.
Oh, yeah, but if we stay on the right where the train was...
Then we'll be
Okay,
fine.
there's a packed train up here, I think we're good, actually.
Okay, good. Great.
I'm not sure if you were just inching along because you were scared of train. I just wanted to get out of this train hell.
Yeah, no, I was running, but I wasn't running good enough, apparently. How do I...
Costa. Also, someone's
It's
mad.
locked.
Oh, I have a cutscene playing now, by the way.
Wanna have
Same.
a look around in there.
Oh, the
Boost
zombie
me
is
up.
still coming closer.
Yeah.
Just don't leave me behind.
Though. Your head blew off.
He doesn't have anything, and I'm very upset about this. So you're...
Leon.
I'm just doing this. I'm just admiring the train.
It's a
Leon,
good
look at
train.
the train. Whoa!
Whoa!
This is a player 2 only section.
Yeah, I just stand here.
Right. Hang on, I got a stomper boy. There we go. Wait, what? Open the door, Helena. You started.
I got
Why
attacked as
did
soon
you
as I
stop?
dropped in. Keep your guard up.
Yeah, there's guys in here. No space to maneuver if you're lying down and rolling around.
She's too pink to be a zombie.
Elena,
I'm coming, I'm coming.
over here. Hey. Elena!
Ah!
Elena!
Sorry, he just inching slowly onto screen. Holy fuck.
I love the poopy butt shuffle.
Elena.
Poopy butt shuffle, very
Over
good.
here.
Oh, you vanished.
Oh,
It's fine,
Oh,
you're
no.
back now.
why am I
Ladies-
aiming?
Ladies first.
Oh. Whoop. I think there's one behind. Is there one behind me? It's fine.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Hey Leon, stop that. Get over here.
No.
There's some more coming.
Oh! Ah! I shot that man's head off.
Don't know why I'm with that guy because it was too dark, but he's gone now.
Yeah, it's very bad in here.
I want to leave.
I can't see nothing.
I hate that if you click left trigger and aim too fast, you just do that silly little duck.
Yeah.
I never want the duck. Oh! I think No, he's just attacking a wall. I thought I dodged by doing that by accident. Ah!
Whoa!
Aw, how did he get me? I
He
was on the
spit!
ground.
He spit!
Yeah, but I was crawling. He should have passed harmlessly over my head.
I see, I understand.
I dodged way
No.
too soon, and then I was just doing the butt shuffle to try and dodge them.
I love
Got a
butt
bit of a
shuffle,
wind up.
though.
Ooh. Right, guys. Wait, does this work? Can I tell which guys are not real guys if I roll onto them and slide through them?
Huh?
Oh, also.
Oh!
Did you see that?
I did!
You can slide into boxes and he breaks them.
Perfect. Good flop tech. Whoa.
Oh.
Hey! I need you to open this door! Hurry! I had to save Peter! Please! We'll never get to the cathedral at this rate,
What
dear.
are you? So you're just unloading into the door.
Don't open that!
She could be infected.
Oh God! Peter! Peter, hang on! I'm
Ma'am.
coming.
Well. I didn't kill her, no. Zombie already killed her. I just, you know, made sure she wouldn't come back. I would never. Don't be in there. You're tired.
Leon, help!
Where are
Leon,
you?
my thumb. I'm right next to you.
Aw.
It's fine, I'll
Poor
take
thumb
cover
thumb.
over here.
Wow! There are too many zombies over here.
Sorry, I was like not doing health good.
No, it's fine. I'm tired!
That happened to me! It was horrible!
I'm doing an Orange Cassidy kick on this man. What the fuck?
This man has so much health.
My god.
Oh no, I'm doing an Orange Cassidy kick! Wait! I think it uses your stamina to do the thing where you aim and shoot really fast.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Come on,
Yeah, it
come over
does.
there. Let's go here.
I only have 10 bullets left.
I have 112. How are you? How? How have you done this?
I think it's because I was using both my guns at one point.
Oh, that just uses all the ammo.
Yeah, it's a Matilda situation.
Ah!
You made it. You can reach the
Sorry.
What are conditions like?
Okay, I was doing stomps on a man, and I shouldn't have been.
hell on earth isn't much of a stretch.
Oh,
Whoa!
the drop kick. Sorry. Tag me in,
Sorry.
Leon. I'll go.
I wiggled my analog stick a little too hard that I yeeted off my thumbstick caps. Hold on a second. You have to do it so fast. Okay.
The waggle ones I can do, but the ones where you mash is a lot. It wants a lot of mash.
Yeah.
And the waggle ones I can do, but like, I think eventually the analog stick would wear a hole into my palm.
Right.
You will have to cross that part of town to get to the cathedral. Keep your lines open in case you run into trouble.
Ah!
Cool. Whoa, what are you shooting?
What if you shoot the thing on his back?
Huh. We could do
Elena,
that.
car!
Ah!
Why do I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg?
What is
Well-
she shooting when she does that?
No
Why
one
does she never
knows.
hit? Sorry.
The world may never know. Wow!
Oh, where are you?
Sorry, I'm doing
I wasn't
hurricane.
paying any attention. Okay, that's fine.
Doing hurricane ranas, however the fuck they say it on zombies.
Hurricane.
Hurricanrana.
So are you okay?
No.
So simply crawling out of there, you're not under the wheels. Why
Come on,
would...
I'll get you out.
I mean, I
Okay.
guess I'll help. What the fuck?
Don't know.
Right. Everything's gone to hell.
I'm sure it's fine.
Alright, that's fine. No one seems to be paying much
Fall back.
attention to us.
Fall back.
None of the zombies, I mean. And a ladder. Hmm.
No.
Wait.
Well.
Sorry, did you have to just wait for me to do all that?
Oh, it's a trash can. Okay. I was hoping there was an exploding barrel down there. There was
Aw.
not. It was tragic.
You a zombie?
Elena,
He doesn't look like a zombie.
I think he's just napping.
Yeah.
having a bad case of deja vu.
It's Raccoon City all over again. Hey. Well. Thanks. I mean.
problem.
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, this guy's got hammer on and it. Oh god, he's got
No!
a gun! Watch out, the zombie's got a fucking gun! Oh!
Huh, this is a problem.
Oh no! It's okay, I got Tic Tacs. Oop. That's what I meant. Here you go.
Thanks.
The man is shooting us while I do this.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. Hey, what if I just, like, set them on fire?
Oh. A suit he had.
Nice!
Oh, barrels! Hey! My new fairy thing. Oh, there's a guy up here?
I can't. Okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
There was a guy up here?
He's gone now.
Hi,
Hi, Saber.
Hi, Saber.
They're gonna be all over us with that alarm going off.
Only if we wait here. Come on.
What's up here?
Oh. Hang on, this man dropped a treasure. He dropped a chess pawn, which could be promoted to a queen with proper gaming.
No. Is there anything over here?
We're not going that way.
Canoeing in the city drive.
Oh, I guess we are going this way.
Yeah, the rod stopped working. Did Leon just walk over here and say that? Well, ma'am, I don't think you're in this cutscene.
We didn't even catch our breath.
Road work ahead.
Did you hear me say we have
I
to go?
sure hope it does.
Where did the lady go? Did you see the lady zombie in the cutscene?
No, I absolutely
Okay.
saw the lady zombie.
I didn't hallucinate.
They do that sometimes, I've noticed. And it's a little horrifying when they do. Lady.
I just rock on them, and then if they don't get you, they were dead the whole time. Why am I doing? Why am I flying?
You good over there, pal?
I was
Hey, friend?
crawling along some garbage, and I started to levitate. Whoa!
What are you? What? Oh God!
Go crawl on that box. It's great. Oh, also there's a
Whoa!
zombie.
The world just like flashed. Everything just like. I think you shot your gun, but like every edge of the world like lit up.
Beautiful.
I thought I was having a stronk.
Gun. Also, I'm in cover now.
Why?
Okay. The boobs only wiggle if you walk into cover. If you just standing still, they don't. We've done the science now. Why is gone?
I think we have to go around to get gun. Oh.
Oh,
I don't think they're getting up.
just sleeping.
It's nap time. I look.
Damn, it's locked.
I stare.
Unlocked.
Nicely done. I mean,
Key me,
Glad
please.
you're here.
Key, please.
it's so shiny.
It is. This nice
Did
lady
you-
had it for me.
Did you even get it?
I touched it and it disappeared, so...
That man just got back from the dentist and his teeth feel funny. I understand this feeling.
He had so much teeth.
You know when you get your
He had
teeth
good old
cleaned,
chompers. Yeah.
and then your teeth are like extra clean and squeaky, but they feel funny.
Hmm. If you roll on them when they're not actually dead, they do bite you. This is a downside with my roll on them to see if they're dead or not plan.
Yeah, that's not great. How did I get the key from you?
Or maybe when I touched it and it disappeared, it went into your inventory. Oh!
Shotgun.
Oh, I also have shotgun.
I don't have any
I have 2
bullets for it,
shotguns
though.
now.
Well, that's...
Wait, does he use the same bullets? No, it uses different shotgun shells.
I have shotgun shells now.
I have 2 different shotguns and they use different sorts of shells.
That's weird. That seems incredibly wrong. Game, that's
Damn
not
you.
the gun I had out.
I could have just given Leon the shotgun. I already had a shotgun. I'm good. Oh,
Ew! 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 Huh?
Lumpa. The old lump yell man.
Lunker,
Lump.
you say? Ah!
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Ah! He's back up! Good
Oh.
job!
Thank you, Blur. Oh,
Oh!
is that good or bad? I punched him and there's not much of him left now, so
Yeah.
either
Ooh, I got a queen piece.
I think something we
guess.
did made him go away.
Something occurred, and the man died. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's all you really need. Is this a door? I can't open this.
Shot a man and his head just blew off. He was rubbish. He had a rubbish head.
Bad head. Why is this man hanging from the ceiling? How did you get up there? I don't understand.
What a funny boy.
More shotgun shells, which is great, because again, I am almost out of pistol ammo.
I like that we're just always doing the dodges.
You gotta!
Yeah, why would you not?
Also stairs.
Yeah,
It's
do we have to look at this to see that we can't go through it?
Well, there's that thing up here.
Oh no, we have to open it from the other side. If only there were stairs that we'd seen immediately. Wait, do you throw me over there?
You have
Leon,
to
I'm not
throw
sure
me.
this is safe.
Don't tell the elf.
Up and over.
Holy shit! Ah!
I'll just be shoving this for a minute.
Oh,
This is
okay.
fine. Just gotta do a little push. No.
The faster the better, I think.
Terror
Please?
chat.
Please? Please?
Hey, I got the bit of wood question mark off. Door open.
Leon, it's open.
Great!
It's open, Leon.
Great! Ah! Wow! Beautiful.
Destroyed. Like it when all the
Anything else
funny
in here?
moves go off at once.
Right? It's very
Oh, I've got a
good.
tummy ache again. I just have a tummy ache the whole time and I can't do my silly kick.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's awful.
Dum tum.
When he comes back, he ain't even full. You can come back at 1 stamina. And you've had a tummy ache for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, we got tomato ketchup and yellow mustard.
As
Neither
opposed
is
to-
shootable.
As
You can
opposed
slide
to,
into that barrel.
I don't think these barrels are you can break while sliding into.
You
Hold on.
try the slide instead of the... Yeah,
Hold
you
on,
got
hold
this.
on.
I think you can.
Hey! Okay, I was
I
wrong.
don't
you
know
were
why
right.
the tomato ketchup and yellow mustard have textures that are actually readable when like nothing
Right,
else does.
right.
They really cared about this tomato ketchup and yellow mustard.
They wanted to
Oh.
make sure that you didn't get it confused with like potato
Green.
ketchup and
Yeah.
pink mustard. It was just very important to them that
Elena.
it wasn't.
Elena.
Hey,
Hey, hey, Leon.
hurry
I
it up.
think
Also-
you're doing it wrong.
Is this Krauser's knife? Okay, I'll stop
Oh,
asking
it might be
questions then.
actually. Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
That might be Krauser's knife. It's not Leon's knife, right?
It's definitely not Leon's knife. Unless he's decided that he needed to upgrade to something, like, huge for no reason.
I mean, he is edgy now.
Yeah.
Oh, I did an elbow drop!
Nice! Well. Eliminate all enemies. Fucking hell.
Whoa. I've got a tummy ache again, by the way. It keeps happening. I can't do anything cool, because I have a tummy ache again.
My ear holes!
What? Please stop.
Stop hurting my ear holes! Ah! I just got hit by a fucking car!
I like that cars just fly in and just instant kill you in trains and things. You kind of just have to know where you're not allowed in advance.
I was shooting the big screamy boy!
Survivor,
Oh!
you have to help him.
Sorry, a car appeared and killed me.
Die, you cannibal freaks! Where the hell are they coming
Die, you cannibal freaks.
First day as a cop and already I'm
Die, you cannibal freaks. I'll die before I turn into a zombie. Okay, bad EMS. What the fuck, game? There was a cutscene playing! He wound up his attack while the cutscene was going!
It's rude.
get you killed.
Are they alive?
Stop screaming at me! I was shooting you in the neck! Fuck. That-
Just that whole, like, side of the arena.
All of it! Just
Yeah.
all of it! What, these guys have magnums?
You gotta
Why?
punch him. Guns are useless. Only the drop kick can get him.
Why do the ambulance mans have freaking...
I got a tummy ache again.
Oh my god. You
Someone
and your...
Keeps having it.
We can blow
You
the
and your
gas to
tum.
Kayshurrr.
Hold on,
I got
before
a
we
bad
shoot the
tongue.
gas, I wanna collect all the things. Consider.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, come on. It's safer here. There's a gunshot.
they are though, and I don't think that zombies are allowed to like have guns.
What do you
It's
think?
not. It's not okay.
I can't run because I've also got a tummy ache.
Aw, me too.
It's contagious. What have you done?
No rush, I have a bad tongue. Okay, no, you can go.
Oh, jeez. Wait, which clip?
Yeah, me. I'm holed up on the second floor. Beat it. Come on, man. Open up. You gotta let us in.
Is this Kendo's? This is not a Kendo shop.
It can't be, they're all
It-
dead.
Yeah. So then why is there a gun shop?
Who does he think we are?
The Kendo's in
Yeah,
bed.
I have no idea. I don't know why they'd put this set piece in.
This is horrible.
It's just guns. It's just gun shop, because it can't be Kendo gun shop.
Oh, hey, ammo in the back corner here.
I found a first aid spray behind the counter.
I want that. I got
And
that.
also, apparently I'm maxed out on ammo. You can just be full.
How?
I have 150.
My god. That's too much ammo.
Just gotta shoot the zombies. Keep accidentally taking cover at the windows. Oh, incendiary grenade on one of the shelves. I'm not sure you should sell that here, sir. I don't think that's allowed. Are you okay?
No,
You're not okay.
zombie just showed up behind me and I couldn't wiggle fast enough.
Here's a Tic Tac.
I'm sorry, I'm stealing all your Tic Tacs. Yours
It's
yours
fine,
just
I think-
taste better. I
Don't
guess.
worry about it. I think it's very funny when I do that.
Oh, I am out of Tic Tacs, but you know it's okay because I have a first aid spray. Oh,
What's the matter with you? She's
I was trying to use one on you and I couldn't.
it's fine. I used mine on both of us. Question mark?
I have a lot of grenades.
Yeah,
I have 9 incendiary grenades.
I have 8 remote bombs and 7 incendiary
How are we
grenades.
getting all this shit?
I don't know. I am gonna put one in the corner here though, so watch out.
That's no way that'd get me. I'm too wily. Someone's fucking shooting back, which I don't think is fair when he's a zombie.
Sorry. I tried. I saw what was happening,
He's
and
doing
then
bullets.
well, I was gonna throw a grenade at him, but then the game said,
Oh yeah, I should have used
cutscene.
one of my 9 grenades, shouldn't I?
yeah, probably.
Give me your gun. Yeah, you idiots can fight it out if you want. I'm getting the hell out of here.
And then he gets his intestines ripped out.
Yeah.
Whoa! That's not what I meant to do. Oopsies.
Why is it?
Stay back. Get the hell away from me.
Why is what?
Is it fireman's helmet bulletproof?
It shouldn't be. No one needs guns. What is happening to the— What the fuck?
He turned into a demon from Doom?
Honestly.
Yeah. Watch out for that. Watch out for imps that throw fireballs.
I put this here. And then I back up.
Oh.
And you back up. And I blow up the boy.
I eventually realized what was happening there.
He is still alive, though, is the problem.
Oh. Does he want to stop that?
Oh, he's dead now.
I ran over to punch him. Oh! Oh, wait, did I parry him? No, I don't think I did. I was very confused. But I think I almost died instead of parrying him, so, you know.
God,
Watch
please
out for
don't
that.
die. I don't know what's happening or who any of these people are or what is expected of us right now.
Shoot them in. Do an elbow drop.
I'm just here. Well, Leon,
Oh.
if you could just not shoot into the air, we're not
Leon.
pointing
Leon!
our
Sorry.
guns in the air going right now. It's not the time.
It's always the time. This part of the shop's still quite nice. There's nothing going on over here.
It's that bomb that I used earlier. Let us in. Let us in.
Wanna let us in now?
I just slid up the stairs.
I'm just rolling around on this stuff.
He had shutters the whole time?
Come on.
The zombie's
Oh.
gonna get me as soon as the cutscene ends, sorry. They can all just do whatever during the cutscene.
Right?
Folks coming for me in
Also,
bus.
hi, Nev.
Any
Thank you
minute
for the
now.
contribution,
We can make
friend.
it on board. It's a straight shot to Tall Oaks Cathedral.
The Red House
People are
game.
evacuating there. Heard it
Yeah,
on the
I
radio.
want to give.
That's a big if. It's a
Is my
shitstorm
inventory-
out there. We ain't waiting for any stragglers.
My
Did you not pick
inventory
it up?
actually full?
Oh, there's another
My
remote
inventory is
bomb.
full.
Japanese dude.
It's fine.
Well, that. Oh, hey, I have Tic Tacs.
What are we gonna use? Oh, found some 12 gauge shells.
What are we doing? What's happening right now?
Zombies.
Ah!
Just zombies things.
Okay. Thank you, Stars, for the shrimp check.
Oh, that one's doing stuff? Oh, he turned into the demon from hell.
Oh.
Oh, jumped on his balls. That won't stop him, nothing will.
Wow!
This isn't stopping him.
My god.
Meat man!
Fuck!
What do you mean? Why did you miss, Helena? You had like 5 minutes! Oh.
Well,
Oh god.
I'm down because I hit myself with my grenade, but you know
I'm
what?
sorry, I revived you in the wrong way. I just punched you instead of giving you a tic Are you okay? I have tic tacs, so I don't know if I can give you them.
No, I have Tic Tacs now. That was very good.
Just punched you. Hey, stop being dead. Idiot.
Tic Tac. Holy shit. Also a stretch. It's stretch time.
Come on, people!
Stretch.
Yeah. Wait, don't we get out here and there's a big lumpy person with lumps that you shoot?
could be.
And he does a big spit.
Did we
and
do
it's
this
horrible.
before?
I don't think we did, but I think I vaguely remember playing some of this. Oh.
What?
Unless I'm thinking of a different. Why did I? What is happening?
Please. Again, there's a zombie here, and he's just allowed to do whatever he wants. Alright, that could be the big lump man.
No, that's not the lumpman that I'm thinking of.
They coming extra large now?
Ah!
Leon. Oop.
Why is she eating my belly? Please.
My moves do nothing.
He's gonna bring this whole place down on us.
Wow!
Sorry, I think I lit you on fire a little bit.
That's okay.
Is they dead? They look ill.
I mean,
Come on, move it!
they are a
Oh, yeah,
zombie.
I don't look great before, I'll be honest.
Hooting and hollering at me?
Where?
Were you?
I didn't think so. I am now.
I thought I heard somebody going, Leon! But like distant and far away.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Glad you're here.
Good job.
Good work.
I appreciate it.
Nice.
Good job.
Just running like a figure eight past each other. Just both going, good job! And the big weird thumbs up. Oh,
I mean,
what
that's
perfect
like,
game.
that's like peak friendship, isn't it though? Just running circles around each other going, what's happening?
Lump over.
Oh. Oh, well, you know what? We do... Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up! Sorry.
Did he what? No, I was fine. You were one of the NPCs.
Oh, okay. I thought it was you, and I got scared that I had hurt you.
I don't know what's happening. Okay.
It's Meatman.
Oh, Meatman's happening now.
I can't.
It makes a lot more sense now that Meatman's definitely for
Wow!
sure happening. You can drop kick a Meatman.
That's so cool! Ah!
I just
There's-
punched a fireman over.
I'm just kicking Meatman over here. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted to do. Can I pick that back up? No. No, it lives there now.
It just makes a nice beeping. Oh, I think he blew up. Wait, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I was killing a zombie upstairs. I don't want my thing to go to waste.
I thought you'd blown yourself up. I couldn't go back up, so I thought you might. I thought that might be a problem. Oh no!
Well, heck! Something's blocking our way.
Could be anything.
I can't see anything, game.
No. Oh, the man's getting dragged.
Well, do I have to do anything about that?
No.
I am out of shotgun
We are shoot him, or is this... Oh, I think everyone's died.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fine.
I got the feeling that everyone would die, so I wasn't worrying too...
Oh, what is happening? What is happening? What the fuck?
Is Leon alive or dead?
Well, that's a good question. I
clicked
guess
to revive you at exactly the point the cutscene started.
I didn't notice that. Hey!
We've routed so many enemies. Hey!
63.5% accuracy.
Okay, well mine were a little bit lower, but I died more and routed more enemies. How did I die more? And I only died once.
No, I died.
Oh wait,
more.
no, that's Leon. You killed more.
Yeah.
I'm the one with 65.7% accuracy.
Yeah. You did better than me. Nice job. Okay. Fine. What time is it?
Saved my partner from dying. You burned 10 enemies with incendiary grenades. The
Yeah, I
chapters
did.
in this are really long, so if we're running up on time,
I mean,
know.
we're an hour and a half in. We could do a little more, I guess, unless we're ready to stop.
a little bit more.
Okay, then let's do more. This is very silly. I am looking at skills though. Firearm power. That's so expensive
Melee.
though.
Can I
Steady's
even
hand
get
when
it?
shooting. Reduces recoil.
Okay, I just bought melee power.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. I should honestly probably do, like, defense. I keep dying.
It does keep happening. Oh wait, defense is actually really cheap.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do defense, and lock on, and rock steady, and we will do a hydrate. Thank you, Nem.
Oh. I might run to the loo. If that's
That's-
okay.
That is okay and fine. I should probably P2 again, is the thing.
Alright, quick break, and then we'll be right back with more Leon.
Yeah! Leon!
Show your looks, Steph. I am back.
What a coinky dink, because I'm back too.
Yeah, she's back.
I'm back.
The song I've had stuck in my head that I didn't listen to for years is Rise Against Swing Life Away. By the way, you asked like an hour ago and I forgot to answer, and I've been very conscious that I didn't answer since I remembered like 3 seconds ago. Oh, I didn't see
This
there were
is
more
fine.
skills down here.
Yeah, there's like
Arrow
loads of
pickups?
skills. You can only equip 3 of them though.
Yeah.
Which is pretty trash.
Lone Wolf keeps your partner from helping you when you're in trouble.
Why
Nice,
would you?
Tim, I'm good.
That's for single player only, though. Is the thing. There is Breakout, which sounds pretty nice. Allows you to break free easily from an enemy's grasp.
70,000 points. You can get 3 more combat gauge blocks.
Oh my god, that would be so nice, though.
Also, removes your targeting sight but increases firepower to 65,000. Let's do it.
No. No.
What do you mean?
No. No. I'm good.
Hi.
Thanks, though.
Good? How do I leave this? Do I quit to continue?
I think so. I hit options as well, and it had a countdown going.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see the
that's
countdown.
Okay. I wasn't sure what was happening, and because of that, I didn't want to mention anything.
I've got a cutscene now, though, of you.
Same. Yeah, we're on a bus.
Hey! With, Jason Statham's driving.
Isn't that Jeff Bezos?
It's just every bald man.
Yeah.
We also received word that in order
Yeah.
to secure no umbrella, just claim responsibility for the attack.
Is that Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the driver's seat?
Vin Diesel?
Also, I hate Leon's phone.
That's all the news
It's
I've got.
very
Now it's your turn
stupid.
to help me.
Because I would drop it and it would shatter into a billion pieces.
Breathing down my neck for info.
Suits.
Specifically, Derek C. Simmons.
Leon thought she meant like actual suits, like suits were talking to her.
Yeah.
Walking things of clothing. We're breathing down her neck.
Try when we're doing the tier list of the boys in Resident Evil. Like, well, what's the difference between Chris and Leon? The difference is that Leon is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He's real dumb and really pretty.
Love Leon here.
Chris isn't dumb, he just chooses to do dumb things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the war nerd in him that makes him choose to do like the really dumb, silly shit.
Yeah.
But like he knows it's a bad idea, and he like actively acknowledges that the shit he's doing could potentially backfire. But
Oh, crawling. Well, there's a lot of 9mm ammo here.
yeah. Ah!
Stop doing that, zombie.
I had no idea what was happening there.
They've got to move in the cutscene again, Kish.
I'm sorry.
Why do they always get to do that? It's horrible.
Oh no, but I don't like it.
Well, it's not. No, that's a different. That's just another
Yeah.
truck that's going and pushes up the cliff. Cool.
I was gonna say I thought we weren't moving, but then I wasn't entirely sure because nothing is very clear. It's like the new Bond films, right? Where there's just so many jump cuts constantly.
But
and
it's
you
a
just-
video game, and you just
Yeah.
can't tell what your guy is doing.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, that
no!
man is
Jeff Bezos is dead. Watch him.
Trying to think of other bald men that we haven't already named, and I can't think of any because they're all the fucking
Vin?
same. We've already said Vin
Diesel.
though.
Did we? Oh.
I did.
There's no
Can't believe Vin Diesel is fucking dead though.
Can't believe famous YouTube superstar Northern Lion is
I
on
guess-
fire right now.
I guess he is the bald man, isn't he? Oh, NL. Oh, puppy.
There's only so many bald men in the
Are you
world.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I doing that? I'm doing like Raz from. Wait, are we
Yeah.
talking to each other on the radio?
I think we're talking to Hunnigan?
Okay, I thought we were talking to each other on the radio.
I do
At
want to
that
pretend
range.
that we are talking to each other on the radio. It's like that scene in Firefly. Can you hear me? Yes, because I'm standing right next to you. You're coming through clear. Yes, because I'm standing right next to you. Hole!
Hey! Kayshurrr fell in a hole.
Ah!
Oh no, there's a zombie in the hole.
Why would Hole do this to me?
Hole zombie, why? Ooh, there's another guy somewhere? I got a prompt.
I just wanted to hang out in the hole!
Like, why did she do that?
I don't know.
Oh, they're toddling real fast.
Yeah, I think we should go.
Zoom in, watch out. Glowing ghouls are zooming around the graveyard.
Wow!
Damn, I was so far away from that hole, and I looked at the hole. And then I was just standing looking at the hole, and then I tried to walk past it, and I fell in.
That's okay. The game just like spawned a man
Decided
directly
it
in
was
front of
hole
me.
time.
Whoa!
What happened to that guy? Is he dead?
I think
Is he
so.
dead because
Yeah.
of what I did?
He has ragdoll physics. Well, he's gone now, but he had ragdoll physics and it was very good.
There were ragdoll physics here. Oh, watch out, he's got a shovel!
Bunk!
Ah,
Why did they
my
jump
God,
like
I
that? That was
parried and
rad.
punched his head off.
I did see that and it was dope. Okay, maybe RE6 is kinda good.
He has some weird things about it that aren't ass, which is a shame, because a lot of it is kind of ass.
Yeah.
Destroyed.
I want to see Helena and Leon tag team wrestle.
Absolutely.
I want to see him go up against the Young Bucks.
Kesh, we have jump kicks.
What?
If you sprint and then you melee, you do a jump kick. And it doesn't hit the dog because the dog's too short. Heck.
I kicked her. Hi, Cyril. There are too many things here. Is the thing that I don't think you understand.
Oh.
What is up, my friend?
Destroyed. I love the jump kick.
So wait, how do you do it?
You run and then you press R2 while you're running, and you do a funny little jump kick.
No, I just swing my arm.
Is it because you got the shotgun out?
Even
I
when
can
I
do
hit
it.
the knife, it was like
I do a funny little kick. I'm
no,
doing it right
you
now.
just-
I'm doing a kick.
it's ridiculous.
No, I think
It's-
you're wrong. I'm doing. Look. Oh, never mind. That one didn't count. I'm out of it. Hang on, I'm out of stamina. I don't want to get a tummy ache from kicking too much.
That's fair. Here, look, I do the thing. I run.
No. What you want to do is this, Kesh. Here.
No,
No,
stop.
watch out for that guy. That guy's not part of the demonstration. Can we close this?
I watch.
You run and then you do this.
I want to do that.
why are
Leon
you doing
doesn't
it wrong?
do that.
Why are
Leon,
you doing it so bad?
please.
Helena.
We just jump kick over that. Hang on, let me get a better run up. Okay, never mind. I can't do it now either. Hey, Cyril.
Resident Evil is going. Ah!
Dog.
It's happening.
Bye,
Get
dog.
the fucking
wait,
dog
did-
back in here.
Did the dog take the key or something?
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Bastard! He stole the damn key!
Fucking
It could be
dog.
chasing us.
Oh my god. Okay.
I believe dog would do this.
Dog is.
Don't
do
stop and growl at
that.
me. You get destroyed.
I want a jump kick. Why
Does
doesn't
running
Leon
take your-
get to jump? Oh,
I don't think running takes your stamina down, but I do think it stops it going back up.
I want a jump kick. This dog took 3 shotgun shells, and I'm like very upset about that. Actually, don't throw a shovel at me.
Heck, I keep getting eaten trying to kick dogs.
Yeah, it's not.
I should
you
probably
can't-
not do that.
It's hard to kick dog, and it's like really upsetting. Actually, it's
Hey,
the
send me
only
a
time.
second. Wait, how do I equip a first aid? Okay, I got one. Yeah,
Nice.
Friends. first aid.
Yeah,
Friends.
yeah, friends. Ooh, there is a blue thing. Hello?
It makes such silly noises.
Yeah.
I hit him in the small of his back.
This is one
What?
weakness.
Damn! What the fuck? It slammed into him and then...
Hold on a second. I do have so much trash in my inventory.
I don't know how much nonsense I have. I just haven't been looking.
I was only looking because I realized that I should probably consider making some Tic Tacs for myself.
Oh, I'm hearing gribblers.
Not that I need the Tic Tacs, but
Oh, I can make Tic Tacs. I got a green herb.
do you wanna make your Tic Tacs?
Okay.
We can.
You gonna help me make my Tic Tacs?
Yeah. So what you do is you take the one
I did-
plant, and then you put it on the other plant, and then you put it in your Tic Tac jar.
I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Let me start over. So you.
This is just high level.
Sorry,
Give me
I'm
the
an idiot.
Give me the key. Go away. Bad
Hey! Don't throw a shovel at me!
Now let's get to that.
dog. He's paying for his shovel crimes now in hell. In zombie hell. Cyril, this game is great. You can do flops and slides, and then you can do like a flop and then another flop. You'd love it.
You can do flops. Look at this good flop tag.
You can go in the ring and do flops, and you can do a jump kick, but not if you play one. Only player 2 gets that.
Yeah, but look, you got flops. We got good flop tech. And then you can wiggle around.
It's just these dribblers come for no reason from somewhere and try and throw shovels at you.
And then
And you
can
stomp
do
the head up and fall over.
And you can do some poop scoops.
The poopy butt shuffle.
It's the poopy butt shuffle, and it's very good.
Yeah, you can go in the rainwater and do a poopy butt shuffle.
Oh, I should probably like help you with this, huh?
Nah,
Nah,
it's
you
fine.
got it.
Oh, I am on 29 bullets.
That's more than I have. I have 14.
I have 28 shotgun shells, 38 shotgun shells for my other shotgun, and 43 pistol bullets. I just have to use another gun for a while, I think.
I have 10 shotgun shells and 14 pistol bullets. What's in here?
Why do I get 2 shotguns and you
I
use 2
don't-
pistols?
I don't know.
But your pistols use the same ammo and my shotguns each use their own ammo.
Leon, hurry it up.
Leon.
This way.
It
Leon,
actually
this
no,
way.
listen, the door actually goes both ways. Huh? Oh.
Never mind, his head's gone now.
Ooh, green herb.
As I was saying, hang on. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted.
Leon. This way.
Stop eating your Tic Tacs over there, you goober! Open the dang door!
Leon,
Roger.
hurry it up.
Roger.
Hurry it up.
You can't say no because you can't button to block.
Leon.
There he is trying.
It's horrible and I hate it and it makes me very sad. Why are we, why?
Well, nothing broken anyway.
Can I go down?
Kinda doubt you doubling back for me.
I can't go down.
Do you just go your own way?
You can go your
Shit.
own way. I just slide and shot a dog.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Are you in a maze?
No. Yes, I am.
I'm in a maze. Oh, there's the horrible screamy man in my maze. He's waddling away as fast as he can.
I have a man in armor, like old-timey medieval armor. It's fine. If you shoot him in the dick, he dies. He dick unprotected. The fool. I do have a screamy man here too, though.
He's just wibbling though. He's not doing anything.
Yeah, he's running away. He says, "I run. I scared. I run."
Oh, never mind. He's doing a thing. Oh no, he died. He was dying. The thing he was doing was perishing.
Fuck.
Oh. Where am I? I am lost in the maze. I was chasing the man. Wait, is this a locked door too?
Yeah,
This is a fake door. Let me go the other way.
Fuck
I'm
off.
sorry, I can't find anything.
No, that's fine, because neither can I, and I'm, like, out of bullets is part of the problem.
There's a second Wiggly Man!
Yeah, I got 2 yellers.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta go.
Wait, I got 2 at once.
Fruity!
I got 2 more, and then... Wait, it's you!
Hi! There's a second Wiggler man down there. Oh,
there's 2
he's
more.
here now.
There's 2 more coming. Why are
Yeah.
there so many? Let's just go. I don't like them.
I gotta move. Hold on, but there was skill points back there.
Okay,
Man,
let's
you're
go
a
back.
sight for sore eyes.
Thanks.
we were yelling about the same 2 guys. It happened.
There's
Is
so
the thing.
many. I got spat and I couldn't move for 5 minutes, and then I got yelled at and I couldn't move for even more minutes. I'm allowed to use the controller to move my character now. What are you doing, Elena?
I got a tummy ache.
Oh no! Yelling man! I will
Don't keep
destroy you.
Spitting on me. Stop. I don't know you like this.
Keep yelling man, and he fell down, and then I.
And then you
Like, this guy just came and walked past me.
Oh, that's the armor man. You gotta shoot him in the dick. Oh.
Oh. Well, that worked too. I
Okay.
wanted the
Okay.
big skill points.
We leave now. Well, that's the only reason I wanted to come back is because there were big skill points around here.
I like the shotgun hit. The synchronized shotgun friend.
That was very good. Okay, I have bullets again, which is exciting.
Nice.
Because I didn't for a majority of that.
Now I'm almost out of bullets. I think I have like too many trash items in my inventory. I'm full of like C4 explosives.
Hurry!
Oh,
I don't
no.
have any bullets.
No, I tried sliding and the game said, haha, jokes!
I forgot to slide. There we go. Sorry, I'm sliding into all your ones.
No, it's fine. I just like sliding.
Elena,
Let me
come on.
come on.
Over here!
I'm going as fast as I can.
Elena!
I know someone's in there.
Crazy! Those things will kill us! Look, it's just us. Hurry up and let us in.
It's just us, he says, as all the zombies
Not
show up.
just. It's extremely. Hey, I have like 50. I have 12 grenades. Let's use a few.
I have many
Ah.
remote bomb.
I'm on fire and I can't do anything. It's horrible.
No!
Oh.
It's fine.
No, yeah, you're fine.
Church bells? Are you kidding me?
Oh, I found another fire grenade, so I still have 12. In
Hey,
case
I
you
might...
were worried I'd run out. Oh,
Okay. Well, I'm glad you hadn't.
what is happening? Please do the stomp? Well, now this is a problem.
I don't know what's going on.
It's fine. I can hear beeping.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. The guys keep trying to climb the fence and then they fall down. The meatmans?
Do we need them to be dead? Oh, he's coming from the top rope. Watch out, he's gonna do a hurricane round-up.
I want him to come over here so I can blow him up.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. I'll go in this direction. I have 9 C4s and 12 fire grenades.
Yeah, I'm trying to like use up some of these. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I only got a little exploded.
Okay, I didn't think you were that close to it.
I did a slide into the bomb.
Oh, heck.
Okay, no, that one really got me. Ow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My pawns. I didn't think you could deploy each other up. We know now.
I thought
With friendly
maybe
fire off. You can friendly fire each other.
It's not what I wanted.
I'm gonna stay over here, because it's dangerous over there.
Yeah.
Because we both realized we have 100 fire grenades.
I just put that there.
Whoop. Yeah, that was good timing.
Oh, jeez. I shitted.
Shitted?
And
And farted?
Putting a lot on the line trusting you. I hope this info of yours is
How do you
worth it.
fucking do it? I'm yelling at me. Oh, he died.
No, Meatman!
Ah, sorry, I'm over here doing a drop kick on a man.
No, it's fine. Come here!
I love the slide.
Hurry!
Give him the old slideroo.
Come on, get inside, hurry!
Oh, do we have to go inside?
The man
The
wants
man's
us to
yelling
go
at
inside.
us.
Horfing down that Mac! Nice!
Hoffing
Nice!
macaroni.
Gotta horf it!
Mac is being hoffed.
Gotta horf that Mac! Mac
It's
that
the only way.
horf!
Are you... Sorry, guys.
That man that Thai man looks like he's from a different video game. I don't. It just looks like he's like cell shaded. I don't know what's going on.
There's a secret door.
This is the bit where maybe not right now, but I think this is the set
Tell me what's down
piece.
there.
I think you're
where
right.
the
I think you're right.
Big spitty lumpy.
Big
thing
fatty
happens.
man, and he comes and he farts and he makes everyone zombies by
Yeah!
his farts. His farts make people zombies.
It's the fart zombie.
The fat zombie's here. This is why the fat zombie comes. Cash.
Hey.
Cash is here. This is why we see fat zombie.
This is where we see the fart zombie. Fruity. Hey. I think fart zombie happens here.
Cash. I think fat zombie happens here.
Okay, so apparently I have played bits and pieces of this, or I've watched someone play it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember much,
Yeah,
but
it's a
apparently
fat
I remember
zombie.
fart zombie.
Well, could forget fat zombie. Oh,
This isn't
I
part of
just
it.
found a Madonna of Happiness.
You're right.
Huh?
Yeah, I was walking around and there was a Madonna of Happiness right here. Oh, okay. Oh, come on.
I mean, you don't have to. And I can stop yelling if you want me to.
Whee!
I just think it's very funny.
Maybe I can use my Madonna of Happiness up here.
Use your Madonna of Happiness.
I am using my Madonna of Happiness?
Yes. It was open the last time I was here.
What?
Did you just skip through all that?
There's something here.
I didn't press anything.
Let's take a
Why
look
did
around.
it do that?
I don't know.
Cause I didn't push anything.
I thought you'd done it.
I didn't do shit.
I hate that may have limited him. You know what? 5 C4 can go in the trash. Give me my herbs.
Also, welcome back, Cyril. I want Herb.
No,
I love Herb.
only for me.
He's my favorite. Wow!
Is up here herb?
Leon's just jumping these pews like hurdles.
Sorry, I think I could. Can I get you down? Yeah, I can get you up. Sorry.
Nice!
I was paying so little attention.
I honestly assumed that I just wasn't allowed up there because that seems like a thing that this game would do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
no-
Only if you
no
play
worse.
a 1. There's just player 2 exclusive areas. That's the kind of thing this game would do. Have you seen any Madonnas of happiness down there?
No. There are these like pedestals with like the little star shapes on top.
Yeah, that's why Madonnas need to go.
So we need
found a
many
treasure
of Madonna?
chest. Oh no, I found a second Madonna. It's a Madonna of charity.
Oh. Okay.
We got double Madonnas. We got double Donnas.
Double Donna.
Yeah. Can we don her up?
Double Donna.
Leon. Leon.
I see you over there hiding behind that pillar.
Leon.
See nothing.
You can't hide from me, Leon.
Leon. Leon.
Oh my god.
The screen went all wiggly. Were Leon out of breath? What happened?
I have no idea. What?
Now we're getting somewhere.
Are we?
If you says,
Games. Let's go.
why did that
I'm
even
gonna get there.
happen?
I'm gonna get there. Huh?
Helena, grab the other one. Helena.
When you said, Helena, grab the other one, you came from like right next to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, help!
How do I help?
I don't know what's happening. Is it? Can you stop? Oh, do I
No.
press the thing? I think I pressed the button. It just won't let me walk to the right spot for some reason. There we go. It has a big red button on it, and you press the big red button.
Leon.
But if sometimes it won't let you,
Ah!
because the animation for turning is so long, it won't let you press it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, the camera was also just incredibly wiggly for that.
Yeah, it was for me as well. Oh, there's lots.
Fuck.
It's fine. I'm not even worried.
This is gonna get a little bit dicey.
Well, that's not what I
Time for this
said,
crap.
Leon. I wanted to
Nice.
praise. Okay, thank you.
Good work.
Presents
work.
on.
Appreciate it.
Good work.
Appreciate it.
Good work.
Thanks for that.
Good work.
Why are you on the radio now?
Thanks for that.
Because I'm too far away.
Move in.
You just
Fall back.
walked up and you were like, good work, good work, good work. And then you just left. And then suddenly the radio crackles in. And Leon says, good work. Oh. Nope.
Do you do one and then I do one?
It might be.
Or are we just
Uh-huh.
doing?
Just keep moving.
My thoughts
No!
exactly.
Helena, please.
Wouldn't want to miss out
Please
on all
press
the
the
fun.
button.
I think we're just both
Yeah,
pressing
we
our
just
own
go.
buttons. Whoa!
Heck,
Don't die.
it's fine. Just got a little shooted. I got Tic Tacs. I'm good.
Tic tac. Fuck.
Press the button, please! There's so many!
It's fine if you're pressing the button. You have iframes.
Just do roll. No! Helena, please press the button. Please, I'm begging you. You just will not press the buttons.
Find that.
You
Yeah,
gotta
you
wiggle
have to
into
like.
every spot.
You have to like come at it directly, like head on.
Yeah, but you can't dodge and then be coming directly head on.
Yeah. Yeah. I just try and face tank it, I guess.
Keep getting shot. Oh,
Oh
Just
Shut
try and get
up!
there before the iframes run out.
Yeah.
Well, start the iframes before the bullet hits.
Okay, okay. Is that all of them?
I have
Are we
pressed
done?
so many buttons.
Door
Let's
open!
go.
There's dead people here?
There's a laser.
Yeah, it's from this dead guy. Oh, now, my gun also has a laser? Was it like this? Cash emulate. We got across the streams. Do you have a laser?
I have a laser. We're like
What is
activating the one ring. You have to like aim it at this thing on my side, I think.
Yeah, I
Or no.
thought so. I was doing it, but it wasn't working.
Wait, aim it at yours.
Oh, that makes sense. Turn on the one ring over here. Just rolling around the floor on my butt because I don't know what to do. If at any point I don't know exactly what to do, I'm doing
Just
flops.
flop. You just gotta flop.
Why is there a zombie here? How did you get here? Silly.
I have another thing that I have to aim at.
Oh. I can't see your laser sight, by the way. I can only see
Well,
mine.
That's because we're on like opposite sides of the building at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm right behind you, Kish.
Oh, hi!
I can't see
so-
your laser sight.
Through this window,
Oh.
you should be able to aim your
Oh,
laser
yeah.
at a thing
We'll
down
shoot
there.
down. Hey!
Hey! Easy. Hi, friend. Hey, 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 hey.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thanks for that.
Nice.
Nice.
Do we...
Wait.
There is definitely a zombie on the other side of this door, and I don't know how to open... Oh! Up.
Oh. Okay, sorry. I was paying so little attention I didn't even realize the door was locked.
No, that's fine, because I didn't know what was going on either. Was the thing? No, sir.
This one you got aim into the mirror for.
Oh,
Oops,
he just
sorry.
popped me in the mouth!
Wait. My friend over there.
Horrible!
My gun is so much more accurate while we're in this section.
Yeah, I wish we had this laser all the time.
Wait.
Hey!
Key.
There's...
I found a Madonna of Sorrow.
That's a sad Madonna.
I found the sad Donna.
Sad Donna. Donna.
Nice.
It's clear. Don't worry. Thank you. We got stingrays thin air.
I mean, oh, and there's ammo for it over here.
Lovely.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no to it. I don't like the sights on it.
Is that what we do? Oh. We win? There's gotta be another one on the other side, isn't there? I see a bell. Oh, it's on the top.
Stupid!
So now what?
We ringed the bells! This
Ring
is
your
a very
bell.
strange level.
It's, yeah, I don't...
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this.
The crossbar statue section, there's a Madonna of Grief here. Also, there's a dead man, make sure you don't trip.
I think my issue with this section is the fact that this church,
Did you
this
hear that?
puzzle church, is not in Raccoon City, therefore I don't understand why it's here.
Yeah. Only Raccoon City is supposed to be like this. Maybe just all of Resident Evil world is just full of weird puzzles and
Maybe.
crossbar
There's
statues are just normal here.
There's a blue thing on the wall behind
Yeah.
us.
Oh, sorry, I
that's
thought you
fine.
said I thought you meant the pillars because they were also blue.
Yeah, no,
So you were
weird-
just saying, get on with it, player 2!
No! Snake medallion. The usual
mean,
blue
yeah.
thing, but I think we have fart zombie right now.
Coming. Watch out, he's gonna fart.
It's
He's
the
gonna do a big
fartman.
fart. It's the
Oh,
fat
right,
man.
he's got the horrible holes!
Oh, horrible holes, fat man.
I do
I mean-
vaguely remember seeing him for this first time and not realizing that they were holes and just thinking he was like a bunch of tits.
It's tits fat man who's got funny little charities. And he goes, it's
Yeah, it's not good.
trypophobia. Fat man.
Just pretend that they're boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible
Not the
laughing boobs.
chandeliers. Okay, but first, what if I wanna?
Look at him. Look at him.
He do be gribbling, which is very funny.
I actually adore him.
You would.
Look at him. Oh, did I die?
What is happening?
I died.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna punch you. I'm sorry.
Don't,
There were
don't be
too many
anywhere
props.
near him. You just die. I think I had like 3 health.
Fuck.
You just. Oh yeah, I don't love him. I just like him a lot.
What is he doing on the
Little
confessional?
guy.
Dude,
Little buddy going.
he is farting up a storm over there, though.
He just posted.
Ah!
He farted too close to the sun. No, why are you jumping over there? I don't understand why you're doing this. I've been trying to melee these enemies for like. Wait, I'm very confused. I think I accidentally used the first aid spray while trying to melee.
How?
I was saving that for my friend game.
Aww. I appreciate the thought.
Tried. Watch out, there's a zombie coming. No, he's got stuff. Oh no, it's a living human.
Did
Sorry.
we explode him?
Did you?
he explode?
I was looking
No.
at the normal man
No, he
who
got
was
back
running
up.
at you.
Oh, he's just a normal guy.
Yeah, it was a human. It's fine. Wait, the
Ah!
fucking zombie got an assault rifle. Stop it. Oh, they're all shooting.
We have to do something. People are dying.
Is he dead now?
Run!
It's like,
No.
no, that's what he does when he's about to instant kill you. Stop being that person. Stop it. Okay, that got him.
Oh, he titties going wild. I gotta censor this for Twitch. They're not gonna like that.
It's like when Helena presses up against the wall over there.
Oh no!
How
Oh
do
my
I have
God.
so much trash? Oh wait, the new bullets I picked up for my new gun also take up space. I understand.
Yeah. I got the thing from down here. So there's a blue medallion. If you that you can put.
Where is it? I need to spend exactly 1 bullet.
If you can come over here, come where I am, and face the direction that I am facing. It'll be in the window in the top left.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why can't I... Wait, now can I pick... Thank you. There we go, now I have Tic Tacs again.
Hey,
Oh, this
speaking
inventory
of.
system sucks.
Yeah, it's not good. I need to eat the last 2 Tic Tacs that I have.
Oh,
Listen,
you
I'm
have
very
first
bad
aid
at this
spray.
game.
Can I give you a first aid? No, I can throw it away.
I don't
can
have any first
destroy
aid
a first
spray,
aid spray.
but I do.
Well, I can use it on you if you need it.
We're good for right now. I am at full health now. But
Yeah, I figured
Alright.
you were good for now. 'Cause you just ate 2 Tic
Yeah.
Tacs. full of Tic Tacs and energy.
I'm so full of Tic Tacs.
What? I thought this treasure chest wasn't openable, and I was about to go
I was a
freaking
little
wild.
concerned for a minute there. It's fine though. We killed the Fartman.
I like it more when it's just a lot of boob tying too close to the sun.
I don't remember this at all. This is all new to me.
Are we in a secret lab under the church?
Yeah, I think so.
With puzzles? 12!
Huh?
Did the door punch you? He punched you through the door!
I was about to say, like, I'm waiting to, like, look through one of these holes and, like, get jump scared or something. No, I'm just gonna get punched instead. What the fuck?
Toilet.
Was there ammo in there?
No, it was just a toilet. It goes, there's a toilet.
Ha 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 ha. Poo receptacle.
I don't know.
Oh, there's a screamer in this one.
Which one? Do you want me to open it for you or to never
No!
open it?
Never open.
Alright, what numbers are we seeing?
I don't know.
Something should open.
It's the one that I
Hey!
am right next to.
Is the zombies there, or is that a bad thing?
No, it's fine.
210 must be the end of the corridor. Hey.
Oh god, you scared me.
Just me.
Just zoomed in there.
Zoom in.
You zoom. I wonder if there is good treasure in here, though.
I'm opening this one now. I'll open that one in a second.
Yeah, let me... Okay, I'm ready.
This is a very simple puzzle. Might as well open the last one while we're here. Are you on fire?
No, he was on fire, though.
Oh, you flashed red for a second. I was worried you lit yourself on fire.
Nah.
Why do you keep going red? Is
Because
that just when you're firing?
Is it when I'm firing, or is it when I'm taking damage? Because I did take damage from him screaming.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Is this Poopman? Poop Fatman?
Poopman?
This is
That
Fat Boobs Fatman over here.
He appears to be dead.
Great.
Here's
Another
Boobs
puzzle
Fat.
to solve. A 5th grader could bust out of here. You just have to punch in the numbers in the doors.
There's another screamer in here.
Oh, I was opening that one for some reason. I was starting at that. And do 1 or 2. That one's easy.
Fruity, please!
Yeah. I get the feeling I should stop opening doors for a second from the fruity please.
We have to. We have.
Yeah, I have made everything worse. It's fine. Oh, where's the drop kick? I think I just punched him to death. You motherfucker, I'm gonna get you. Just gonna go over that. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Why do they hurt you when they die? I hate it.
I don't.
It doesn't do a full block, and I think it goes back up if you don't get it for a while.
Yeah, you'll heal up if the block hasn't been totally depleted, but it's super annoying.
Yeah. Let me get that one for you. I'll take care of that door for you.
I don't think there's a screamer. I think it's just 2 zombies. I think it's just 2 regular zombies. 2 regular Dr. Zombs. I burnt that man's clothes off.
Oh no. Okay. Please.
Oh, hey, there's
Terms
a
of
secret door
service.
in here.
Ah. What's
2...
it? 2 something something.
Yeah.
Can't remember what ones I've already put in, but it's fine.
214?
It'll be either 210 or 201. It's 201.
Oh, okay. We'll do it. We'll Do
There's
it.
3 buttons. There's 1, 2, and 0.
I see.
And when you press one, you can't press it again. So you know.
Ah. Oh, big skill point. And oh my god. Actual
You run around in
menace.
the bits. It's great. Why can't
Did
I
he
have
die
the
of
green?
farting? He did not die of farting. He is farting. He is the
He
fartman?
lived farting.
He died doing what he loved. Farting.
Absolutely.
Hey, I have Tic Tacs again.
Hey.
It's open.
Is there anything around there? Be careful.
We're safe.
Gotta use the tactical maneuvers.
We're all clear.
Oh, are we sure? I better do the butt scoot out of the way just to make sure. Oh, there's a puddle here. Let's go in it.
Just gotta get a good coating of that muck.
Yeah, it's a good video game. Leon!
Leon!
I kind of love
chair
this
is this?
stupid video game.
Wait, I remember this place. Deborah must be
This is
close.
Deborah's chair.
Who?
Deborah.
Who?
Am I
Must be okay.
Leon?
Who was Deborah?
No!
No, do it. He's on the ground, lady. Just sit down.
They only kick up. Elena
Oh.
and Leon cannot cook. Kick up!
We have to cook.
We have to cook, Elena!
Why
Elena!
is this going like that? Are you seeing this?
Yes, I am.
He was doing it before anyone even came over here. Why is it like this?
It's very sensitive to any sort of, like, air movements.
Really going.
Holy shit.
Flapping up a storm over there.
You don't even have to touch it if you just get anywhere near it.
Yeah, he was doing it like as soon as we came in the room.
My god.
Look at all this milk.
You need some milk.
Oh, it's gone now. I shot it. Friend, please. I know. You never. Okay, never mind. Oh, you can jump over the tables and be a dang menace. Oh, that one's. Why am I punching in this direction? If you mash X when you open the door, you do a big punch on it.
Ooh.
Ah!
Who's growling?
It's a man. I'm trying to punch him, but Helena's decided to punch every other direction.
My god.
Whee. Whee.
Dude just like aggressively throw open the door. There's a red herb in here.
Oh. Let's see if I can fucking hold it. Where is it? Oh.
In this bathroom? At the very end. On the right. Whoa!
Does it
Active
seem such bad?
shadows! Yeah, they're gross.
Oh. Think treasure.
I'm stabbing it. Leon, you have to stab it. Why is the shadow of it going through the sink? That was a bit of overkill, but hey. There was another sink that was bad down here. I'm now curious. Wait, down here?
We can unbad that. We can fix that. Let's go.
We
Plumbing
can
sim.
unbad that.
A man just appeared behind you, and it's one of the.
Yeah.
It's not moving. It's one of the screamy ones. Was that meant to be like a scare when you looked in the mirror?
Possibly, but you were too
I was
close.
already.
You were
I was looking at him.
You were there. You saw him spawn in.
Stomping his bum.
Okay, so if you don't explode their neck sack, which is a phrase that I hate, they don't scream and hurt you?
They only scream if you explode their neck sack.
He's not here either.
Oh, I searched this cupboard and Deborah's not here.
Dang. Deborah, where are you?
I'm sorry, Leon, Deborah's not here. What?
Ooh.
What the? Did I turn around?
Yeah, we backtracked.
I meant I was running down the corridor and it just went into the animation of a sliding over a table and I was like, I don't see a table. And then I was facing the wrong way, I think?
Oh, jeez.
It's fine.
Bear with me a little longer.
I just cut this woman's head off.
Oh, there's another one of these!
Another one of what?
One of those, the flappy things.
Oh.
There's another flap happening. It's not going quite as hog wild. Still
I was
pretty
thinking about
bad.
it, though. I'll have to reload everything.
Gotta make sure there's no milk. The zombies can use that.
None milk. Get it out of here. It's bad. Milk bad. How
Let me
could
check if it's
Neil?
clear.
How could
I think
Neil
it's clear.
Umbrella do this? Not the nun milk. I mean, nun milk, not nun milk.
Hey,
I think
No.
the Deborah part is fucking dumb and weird, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we're gonna meet Deborah today, but
Oh no. There is concern about Deborah.
yeah, I've got some Deborah concerns.
none of these were here 3 days ago.
Helena? What are you
You
telling
here
me?
3 days ago in this secret lab under this church.
Seems weird. I won't question it.
Leon just doesn't understand.
No.
Leon doesn't see that it's strange. Happy birthday, Ada Wong.
Ada. Wait! I remember this! She goop.
Yeah, it's fake goop, Ada. Happy birthday, Ada Wong.
She goop. Tibbies.
Doesn't have her clothes on, just shit.
No, absolutely not.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't wear clothes when I get goop.
When you go in an egg.
Yeah, listen, you don't want to get egg goop on your nice clothes. She would ruin her lovely red dress.
It's true.
That is the nun milk. You are correct.
That's the milk. The nun the milk comes from. The milkable nun. I was gonna say milkable nun, and I had to have a second pass there. I'm sorry, everyone.
I never want to hear you say that ever again. Please.
Let's go, let's do something to take our minds off the incident. Do we really have to run back and press the fucking buttons into one of the... It's fine, don't worry about it. Nothing even happened.
No point going back in it.
Toss stuck. You can't go back once you've milked the nun, it's over.
No!
We've
Milk the nun. She
We've ruined
hates
everything.
That.
by
How do we
milking the nun.
leave?
I don't know.
I need
I'm
to
trying my absolute hardest.
I don't want to be here
Yeah,
anymore.
we can't get out of here.
Game Open the underground door. Oh, okay.
Leon, let's go.
Fucking hell.
It's fine. Nothing bad's happened in this room. Can we jump on this with the goop man?
No, you can. You can add that quote. I think it's add space quote, or is it quote space add? There's something weird there. I geek my feet.
I'll milk the nun. Shit.
Don't. She does. It's her least favorite.
Dog? I hear dog? Am I
Where's-
imagining dog?
I hear dog.
I'm
Dog is under
hallucinating
us.
dogs.
No,
Oh,
dog
okay.
is under us. Dog is in a cage under us.
Fuck you, dog. I'm going over here. Successfully added court 76. Don't milk the nun. She hates that.
It's her least favorite. Don't do it. It's bad.
Hey! I found a switch and I pressed it.
I get it. We have to activate them one by one.
Why does everything
Oh.
have to be complicated?
Oh, hey, don't shoot that! That's just in. Don't shoot that! Sorry, Leon.
There's a zombie behind us. There was a zombie behind us.
Done.
So, how?
Can another? Oh, there's another zombie.
You got it? You got it handled?
I'm giving him the business.
Helena,
Actually,
we
there's
gotta
several.
activate this thing.
No! Why am I going up here? I never asked for this.
Oh, I'm coming.
I got acid in it.
Oh.
A little bit. Oh, I'm tired again. I've got tummy ache.
Oh no. Sir, you can't do this.
I did get to elbow drop one of them, so that was lovely. Sorry. I kind of made a meal of that.
No, that's fine. Oh. Cyril, don't shear a baby. A baby can't be sheared. Listen. What if I hop down here?
Aw, I don't have all the treasure from this side of the room.
Oh,
Whoa,
hi.
damp here.
Yeah, it's a little wet.
What do you think you're dodging, you fool? What? It's got a head! Does that zombie have a head for you?
No, the zombie was headless.
Huh.
Hurry, Leon. We gotta activate this thing.
I don't want to hurry.
I think I just got bit by a headless zombie.
Oh, hey, it's Be Real time.
Oh. I'll cover you, Leon.
Thanks. I stay in this corner. It does sound like there is something like directly behind me.
Cover you. There might be up the ladder. Yeah, they were up the ladder.
Ah!
Oh god! What even happened? Where am I? No! The fuck? I'm dying.
No, you're not.
Oh, thank you for the Tic Tacs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna punch you in the chest this time. Can I kick? Leon, can
Can I
you
do
kick?
anything? I don't know what's happening.
It's all very broken right now,
Gameplay
it
with
seems.
real time, and it's like, nah. Gonna ruin this one.
Ah! Wow!
Oh, What did you do to the lady?
I grabbed her by the neck and threw her around.
I thought you were doing like a cool wrestling move. You doing
I mean,
like
I
a...
was.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, there's a thing down here that I want. It's bullets. I want bullets.
No.
Leon is so tired. Did we just go in a big circle for no reason?
I don't know what's happening, I'm gonna be honest.
Somebody is honking.
There's
down
more
there?
zombies now.
Fuck. This is definitely not where we were before. I'm trying.
I don't know where she dang came from.
Okay.
I'm gonna might get killed as soon as the game comes back on.
Oh shit!
Dang,
I
right
see
now.
you.
Yeah.
He didn't have a head.
Why did it get to do that when the cutscene's going?
That's not how zombies work. Oh hey.
There's a zombie.
I can't
no.
move! I can't get out!
Oh, what? The zombie's just appearing out of thin air. I have no idea what's happening.
They don't have heads.
Reality is starting to collapse. Oh, whoops. No, stop! What?
No!
I was just standing! What happened?
I don't have any Tic Tacs, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I've got a first aid spray in my hand. I was trying to use it. Okay, we should leave, because this is a lot that is happening right now.
Oh my god.
Can I fix any of this? Can I make anything less horrible?
It's all bad here. Everything that is happening here is bad.
Why am I electrocuted twice? Why are there 1,000 guys behind me? Someone threw a ball at me, and it stopped in the air, and I was just looking at it, and then he went past me like 5 minutes later. Game is having a time.
Honestly. I don't know what's happening. Things are occurring, and they're occurring very badly. Oh no.
Fuck off. I think that's right at the side of you, I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Game, I know about Switch. I've seen Switch before, it's fine.
Wow!
Like those zombies in particular. I just fired a burning zombie at you, I'm sorry.
Nah, he was dead and it didn't hurt me, so we good.
Cool.
Alright. I want to leave here.
Yeah, it's not good.
Elena,
I would be happy not being here anymore. Sorry.
over here.
There were 50 skill points, I should have just gone. Not worth it.
No, it was worth it. You gotta get him. It's important.
Finally. Come on.
My god.
Speedrun this section now, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, we got I want to do all the flops, but I can't.
I knew he was gonna jump up when you got near him, but you're not allowed to shoot them before they do, so like, what do?
You roll around next to them and have the other person do a shoot.
Yeah.
When they start
Oh.
wiggling. That's the strat. Sorry, I'm like standing in your way.
Nice. Oh.
Fuck off.
Screamy, man.
He's gonna scream again, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Oh, we're far
Doing it
enough
from
away
very
that
far
doesn't
away,
matter.
yeah. When you get to the right spot to just stomp the entire wave of zombies. Oh god! This guy comboed me? It was horrible.
Oh! Well, down he goes.
They could overwhelm us if we're not careful.
Hey, you think? You fucking think?
They just appear out of thin air and you get on. It's horrible.
Are you telling
What?
me that the enemies
Helena!
are just spawning in behind you immediately? Oh, can I do this?
Sometimes they're on top of you, sometimes they're already attacking you when they appear. Nice thing.
I'm sorry. You don't have to rush.
Look.
I just think
I
it's
wanna
very
get out.
funny when they yell.
It's very funny when they yell, that's why you think that.
Here's the thing. It's very funny.
Going down the trash chute. Are we back in the sewers?
I think we're back in the sewers.
Is this sewers again?
I think it's sewers again. Oh no, it's a mine shaft. Classic.
Of course.
Oh,
Fish, I found a little top.
break it. I was gonna try, but I got
Fuck you, little
stuck.
pot.
Tell me how you really feel.
That's why I want to show you.
Idiot
And when I
pot.
do, you'll have all the answers.
Oh my
and proof
God.
you need.
Do you have to go under here like this? Well, I mean, I guess I could have slid, like, good. But where's the fun in that? I gotta rub myself in all the mine water.
Blue thing.
Oh, blue thing.
So back to the lab.
The dampest heroes the world has ever known.
If you want answers, you should be prepared to give a couple yourself.
You're right. It's only fair, I guess.
Talking to me?
I'm talking about how I'm kind of sketchy, I think. And it's like, I feel like you're a little bit sketchy. Even Leon's kind of getting it.
Dude, when Leon is picking up on it, you know you fucked up. Hello?
Oh! It's the mummy. Watch out! A lot of have risen from the grave.
I'm not an Aksuna Moon. Leon may be very pretty, but, you know.
Prettier than Brandon. Oh, it's Deborah.
Oh!
Just over on an altar in a mine, underneath a secret lab.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's just Deborah.
In her nightie. Okay.
Yeah, of course. What else?
Huh?
What?
Oh, isn't this like her sister or something?
Is this how you sleep? Yeah.
No.
Thank goodness.
No, if I take a nap in the mine, I'm usually like bundled up
In the
pretty
zombie
good.
infested mine.
Yeah.
Okay, enough with the mystery. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just get her out of here. And then I'll tell you everything. I promise. Hang in there, sis.
I can't do anything because I'm carrying a Deborah.
Leave me hostile to me.
Kind of hoofing it though. I can do a funny little kick, but it takes me 5 minutes to recover from it.
Okay, hold on. Before we go ahead, I need to combine some things.
I can't open my inventory,
LOL!
so I can't have that herb. That herb is banned. I can't hold it, and I can't
That's
open my inventory.
horrible.
Can I do my karate kick on this lady? It's not even a lady, it's just a guy. Oh, bloody got him. Oh, he never saw me coming.
I'm trying to help, but you're
Yeah.
just so far ahead.
It's fine, I'm doing it. This is fine. This is normal. Whoa! It's a
Hey!
DDT!
Yeah!
Onto the unforgiving concrete floor. I am like kinda quick like this.
Yeah, you are. My God, I can barely keep up with you.
I also have infinite stamina.
Why is everything wiggling?
The camera was pointed like straight up, so I could not tell you. I could not aim the camera.
I was just running and then...
A wiggly man just zoomed past me, watch out for that.
Yeah, he's dead now. Don't worry about it.
Watch out for the ghoul. Hey! I'm just running around kicking. Guess I can do so forever now. You just gotta carry a Deborah and you're unstoppable. You gotta find yourself a Deborah.
Listen, I was shooting the man. I can't push the buttons
can't get
that
you out.
fast. Yeah,
I was
that's
missing
okay.
when I did the thing to stop him.
Get up, Leon. Don't
I
just
was
roll around on
clicking.
the floor.
I was clicking the save Leon button, but she was missing with the kick. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I do need to heal up a little bit though.
Hey, I wish I could heal up. I have many Tic Tacs, but I'm not allowed to use them because I'm carrying a Deborah. Maybe it's not a power up, actually.
Stupid. With great Deborah comes great responsibility.
Hunnigan, come in. Damn it.
I can't push, by the way. I can only do the stupid kick.
I assume.
Oh, there's a red herb over here. I can't have it because my inventory's full, and I can't
want
open
it.
my inventory. You should
I
come
can
get
have
it.
it. I will
Delicious.
once I am done pushing a thing.
Oh, there's zombies coming.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
Nice.
Fuck
Navigating
you,
the
zombie.
menu is horrible, and I've lost you. You're okay. You're all the
I'm
way
right
down.
behind you.
No, you're
No,
in
I'm-
front of me. No,
I'm
you
not.
are behind me. Okay. What is happening? There's usually like a little indicator to tell me where you are, and it was actually the waypoint was the thing. And you've also been so much faster than me that I just assumed you were already at the checkpoint.
I can run really fast when I'm carrying Deborah.
What the
I can't
fuck?
fucking do anything. Deborah! Come on, Deborah.
She's just doing it for the attention. You know, setting herself on fire.
Oh, I hate when that happens to Deborah.
It's fine. She's like a phoenix, fresh from the ashes.
A new baby Deborah.
Good God, kill it. That's a bad Deborah. Don't
High
touch
five.
it. My baby!
Hey, Zeta.
Ada.
Ada, you look like shit.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
I like a pop collar and a jacket. She was wearing like a shirt under it.
The outfit, pretty solid. That's not my Ada, though.
New sweater Ada though. That's the real stuff.
Yeah!
all
That's
right.
my girl!
What the hell is going on here?
It's complicated.
Leon Ada doesn't. Leon, your girlfriend's weird.
Yeah,
You've got-
she...
She doesn't answer questions.
Time or the place.
Hey,
These
I have a
walkways won't
question.
hold. We need to get
Why
to the
did they
lower
make
levels.
Ada white?
So sorry, Deborah.
Yeah, that is
It's all
weird.
my fault.
Helena,
Hey,
get away
why
from
is
I'm glad that they
Ada
didn't
white?
Keep that up.
Please.
Yeah. Ah!
Watch out, there's a naked lady who's Pat Spider. Oh, is this actually hurting me because I got hit in the cutscene?
It's a good question. She is just full naked, isn't she? My God.
Yeah, it's a boss.
What the-
You fight a naked lady as a boss fight.
What the fuck?
Are we allowed to show this on Twitch?
I think so. It is all just like smooth.
Yeah.
There are no nipples and whatever is going on downstairs. There's not really anything there.
Where are you?
It's an angel type situation, so I guess it's fine.
These zombies make
Yeah.
very funny sounds, and also you can shove them.
Like Barbie. Go, Ada, go!
Yo! You're having fun over there with Ada, and I'm just fucking Helena.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
My sister turned into Goop and then was reborn as a Goop lady, and then was immediately killed with a crossbow, and then was reborn again as a spider Goop lady. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for Helena.
For this woman that we have just met.
Leon's oldest and dearest friend, Helena. Everyone knows Helena. Anytime Leon needs a double spat for tennis, Helena comes running.
Holy shit. Go, Ada, go!
I think my platform got stuck.
Oh no. Oh! Well!
Watch out, you two. She's strong.
Watch out for yourself.
My
Watch out.
God, what is she doing up there? Stop!
She's
I
doing
hate
sexy
this.
dances. Watch out.
Ma'am!
Oh.
Oh, she wiggling. This is, I hate this?
Yeah, this is horrible. How did I even get down there?
That's a good bum.
Oh, that's a bum. So yeah, this is, not okay.
Hey, Resident Evil? What the fuck?
Resident Evil, are you okay? I feel like you're not okay, Resident Evil.
Yeah. Did we get 2 of them that time? Whoa!
Sorry, I wasn't sure if that even count. I'm not sure it did even count.
No, ma'am, please do not do that thing that you're doing. I got right up on her to try and shoot her, and she just immediately spread her legs, and it's like, my God, ma'am, please, I hate this.
Yeah, this is not. This is real bad.
Oh, she did it again!
Yeah, that's a defense.
It's working! Is all I can say. It happens and I'm immediately like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to be in this video game anymore, please.
No, stop wiggling. You're wiggling too much. I shoot so slow.
I just got a zombie just walked in. Ada whiffed a punch at them and then they just collapsed.
I thought that blew up.
Heck, I've been punched by Deborah.
Deborah. Deborah.
Please stop doing that, Deborah.
Honestly, is she dead? Are we done? Ma'am, please.
Deborah.
I have to use my head to like censor you when you do that. When does she die? When does she die?
We need the lady to die, please. Hey!
She's dead, bruh, now. Jesus. Well, maybe. Maybe she's dead, bruh, now.
How long is the Deborah section? Because we need the Deborah section to end game. We've had enough Deborah.
There's been enough Deborah for one day.
That's enough Deborah for all of the deaths.
Yeah. You know, what are you talking about?
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
No, that's
Just
not...
another day, another Deborah.
I don't want no more Deborah. I'd rather go back to talking about none.
Oh no.
And I don't even want to talk about none. Oh, well.
The roof just fell on you. Guess you get on.
Yup.
I can barely move because Ada takes up like 10 times as much space as she looks like she takes up.
She's got this gravitational pull about her. I'm sorry.
You've entered the Ada zone. Why are you even doing it? Are you shooting the dang lift?
I got.
Oh, does that just keep happening?
Yeah, and I don't have any more Tic Tacs.
Cool, good. Clearly, you should have just not got hit by the roof when it collapsed. Just use your abilities and skills to dodge that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just a bad gamer is the thing. Yeah, y'all can take care of those guys, actually.
I can't. There's an invisible wall in the way. He can hit me, but I can't hit him.
Can I not jump there? Is that...
He keeps spitting at me, and he can hit me, and it's horrible.
Ah, jeez. Here you go.
I'm
Sorry,
worried
it took me-
Deborah's not finished.
Yeah.
I just... We need to... We need an end to Deborah.
Yeah.
Harry, look, we're doing good job. You're pushing the thing real good. This is fine. We're playing the funny game where you do flops. I mean, we're safe here. It's fine. Oh.
All aboard.
So many items over there. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Why is there a minecart?
I wouldn't count on it.
You know, Resident Evil fog. Oh, what? Oh wait. I've got a strat. Kish. Do a dodge. Do a dive. Fly on the ground and scoot on your butt.
You're right.
Yeah.
This isn't you!
Deborah, you're not a goop monster. Come on.
I lay
I've
down.
known you for ages and you've never been a goop monster. And you've always worn clothes. Deborah, what are you doing, Deborah?
Ma'am! I can see your whole hoo-ha!
Oh no.
Well, laying
That
down
did
doesn't
so much damage.
help.
I took 3 damage from that.
Oh fuck. Which
Well,
one
I'm
of us
dead.
is dying?
I'm dead.
It's fine, I will punch you in the tit.
Cool.
Well.
Wait. What?
Huh?
What happened?
I don't know what occurred
I
just
just got up and then I died again.
I don't know what's going on.
Don't you think I know that?
Oh, that one only did half a block instead of 3 blocks. Cool. Good.
If you like manage to dodge as she's swinging, you can maybe get away without getting hit.
Yeah, but sometimes when she hits you, she does 1 block of damage,
Yeah.
and sometimes she does 3.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
She is very inconsistent.
And also, she's not wearing a lot of
And-
clothes.
And a lot! A lot of clothes! I would argue that she has none? 0 clothes?
That does seem to be the case. I am just lying on the ground. This is fine for me. I love it.
Yeah, we just hang out down here. Whee! Ada, lay down! Ada, lay down!
Come on.
Ada, you have to be like one of us. Lay
Roll on the
down!
ground like us.
Ada!
Roll on the ground. Oh, we got a checkpoint.
Well, that's nice.
Oh,
God,
that
this
Deborah's
again.
back. I'm sorry.
Deborah, please.
What? Camera?
I don't know what's
Is
happening.
this good? Are we winning? Did we die?
I
It said
mean,
checkpoint, so I assume we didn't die.
this does feel like hell. So,
Deborah, you've been shot like a lot of times.
yeah.
I think you need to stop. Deborah. Got a
What's happening?
headache. Please, camera, do not go that low. You have to stay above the midsection. Why am I grabbing her?
Helena is a fool. I'm sorry,
Who?
you're playing a fool. Why is
The
she
jiggle
so
physics?
wiggly?
Oh my god.
Why are they so wiggly? Holy shit!
Kim, please.
You have to stop! Resident Evil 6 has to be stopped! My god, look at them go!
Oh my god.
They are wildin' over there! Jesus!
Oh.
Hey, Helena? Your sister? She wiggle.
She wiggled.
She wiggle, if you know what I mean. I hated that. I hated
That was
that!
horrible. It's just straight up, just the boss is a naked lady, just sexy dances are you.
Look at me. We're gonna get through this.
Why is she
Horrible.
still?
No, let her go.
Why did she ever have clothes?
No!
Was there a point in her life where she wore clothes?
Never. Not even once.
Oh dear.
Not the
She was
Jello
made entirely of Jello.
I'd believe it. I mean,
I didn't know what else to do.
did you see the way she jiggled?
I helped him. I helped Simmons breach the president's security.
That sounds like Simmons, all right.
Why the hell would he do all
What
this?
are we even talking about?
I have no idea what's going on. Between Ada getting whitewashed and then there just being like
Yeah.
a 30-minute section of just naked woman, I am confused and lost.
Dangerous game. And if you don't play your hand right,
You gonna answer that?
No,
Okay, you're gonna fly away first.
not aroused. Angry?
No. Horrified.
Confused?
Yeah, Resident Evil 6? What the actual fuck?
Yeah, hey, Resi 6? We could do a closing game of Vampire Survivors.
That sounds like a good idea. Hey!
Thank
we finished
God.
the level. That's all the Deborah forever.
I earned a dog tag. We end the game. Yes, I would like to
I
quit.
think I might like to quit.
Yeah, consider. What if we don't?
I don't want to be
Holy-
around anymore.
Holy shit! I guess that was a game.
Yeah.
How many?
That is the only
chapters
time that happened, but
Are we sure about that? No, that's not the end.
I'm pretty sure that's the only, like, bit like that. Because I remember Noah Gervais specifically talking about how fucked it was, and then when I talked to Sam about the game the other day, he was like, hey, remember how fucked that bit with Deborah is? So
So
I
this
think that
is-
stands out. Yeah.
So this is the worst. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of parts that are
Jesus.
really bad, but that's the only part
Yeah.
that's bad in that
That's-
specific way.
that's naked lady bad.
Yeah, you don't you don't have any more boss fights with naked ladies.
Well, that's good. There are 5 chapters in Leon's campaign. We're
I
not
think
even
so.
like halfway through.
Almost halfway. I think like the last 2 chapters are just refighting the same boss over and over and over and over again as well.
Jesus. There are 20 chapters in total between all of the campaigns. God, it's a long one.
Yeah, I mean we don't have to do all. Are we gonna keep going after that?
I don't know. I think we need to give it a day. You and I will reconvene tomorrow and be like, hey, are we up for more of this? Because oofda. Oof. It's the co-op aspect of it is fun and weird and strange. And that's good and fun, and I like that. But the content,
It has the problem that the game is kind of ass, but also like it doesn't operate on like a level of logic or sanity where they'd know that that was okay. I mean, they'd know that that was not okay.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't know what it could do. You don't know what it's capable of.
Yeah. Also, sorry, friends, you are going to just see a blank screen for a minute while I get Vampire Survivors up. Yeah, it sure is something.
I knew it was fucked. I didn't know, like, exactly how. I just knew it was. I remember, like, Noah Gervais saying that it's a naked lady who does sexy dances at you, and I was like, well, it can't. That
It can't
can't
be
just
that
literally be
bad.
what it is. But
No,
no, it is.
is.
That
It
is literally it.
That is exactly what it is. It wasn't that great. Yeah. Yeah, we can get back together tomorrow and be like, do we wanna?
That's fair.
Because right now my immediate response is no, none, nah. But I might also be like, okay, if there's no more Deborah,
Deborah's gone forever now. I don't think there's anything else like that. It's still like, I mean, it's always like weird with all the women characters. Like, there'll probably be like an angle you can hook up the skirt on, or a section where they have to run around in their underpants for some reason. I think that happens for fucking Sherry Birkin.
Oh God!
It's like, game. This is, I know. I only know this person as like an 8-year-old who can't do this.
As an actual baby,
you have to stop. It's nowhere near as bad as that. There's a lot of dumb and there's a lot of bad, but it doesn't get that bad in that specific way again.
Okay. Yeah, we'll sleep on it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Oof. Though that is my response to all this.
It is still like an ass game. It's not like we have to put up with this to like get to a good video game.
No, 100%. Look, I went into it at least knowing that it was a bad video game.
Not the Deborah situation.
I wasn't prepared for the Deborah incident.
No one was prepared for the Deborah situation.
But yeah, so we'll figure out if we'll do more of this. If not, we'll figure out what else to do for tomorrow. But I do have Vampire Survivors up.
Safe
it
here.
is,
and it was fun when we were flopping around in the sewers, and we can take that experience, and we can just be happy that we shared it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. The time Leon and Helena just were gallivanting around in a sewer and covered themselves in poop. That was fine and wholesome.
They were doing the poopy butt scoot, and it was great. It was delightful. I know it is getting late for you. I don't know if you wanna. You're welcome to stay. Yeah,
I'm happy to stay for Vampire Survivors, but if you want rid of me, that's fine too.
No. I don't want rid of you. I just wanted to make sure, like, before I fully jumped into this, I wanted to make sure that you were up for it. I did share the screen with you, and it is on stream as well. Does anybody have any suggestions for character to play? Cyril technically has first dibs, since they redeemed.
Play as Deborah.
The redemption. No, please, dear God, no more Deborah. None Deborah. I do have Lita, the naked lady, but she's just a meatball, and that's fine. But yeah, Cyril, do you have a character in particular that you want me to play as? If not, that's fine. We have the random option. Oh, Fart Dog! You want me to be Fart Dog? Okay, sorry. I thought you were just saying Fart Dog for no reason. Because that is a thing that you would say. We can be Fart Dog, though. And map. Do you have a map you want?
Oh, jeez. I shitted.
And farted?
And farted.
And farted. I have all of the DLCs as well, so I've got the new maps and everything as well. I'm glad that everyone agrees that Cyril saying Fart Dog.
Dog fats, poop time, dog fat. Please,
the only one?
I'm begging you to be dog fat.
Oh, that's
Oh,
really
can they
good.
not hear me?
No, they can.
Oh.
No, they can. Cyril is telling you to shut up, is what's
That's
happening. Never
I only
stop.
understand when Cyril says dog fat, poop time.
Oh my god. Okay, what do I want to start with? Oh, holy shit. We'll do this. How is music is like non-existent? It's very quiet.
Oh, it's the dog who poops flowers. I know dog fat
Yeah,
poop time
it's
is.
Soul.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do have like the Twitch integration on, so y'all get to choose what items we get. Be nice to me. I just had to Deborah. Yippee!
Oh, Santa's holy water is actually pretty good. Yeah.
We do love Santa water here.
Think.
They're all pretty good, honestly.
They're all weird ones.
Yeah, I like Silverwind. It's very nice. We do need Pulmarola to evolve that one, though.
We just kind of need something that shoots forward, or like around us, to just keep things off us.
Silverwind shoots around. I mean, it circles around, kinda.
That's doing it right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good item, and it does heal you, which I love. I love that for
That's
me.
lovely.
Pomarola, Pomarola, Pomarola.
Kesh wants Pomarola.
It's
Do with that
again,
information what you will.
it involves the Silverwind. Listen, I just want those evolutions.
More poopable flowers.
We love the poopable flowers.
Bigger flowers.
I'm glad that I did this.
Yeah, this is
That
a good
It's
a good
routine.
de-stressing game.
Yeah. We like it. I think this is the first time that it's actually been redeemed, though, so that's very exciting.
Yeah, we'll
Oh.
keep that that redemption for like when something horrible happens, so we can just go Vampire Survivors, where it's always safe and happy and a good time, and there's no
Yeah.
Debras anywhere.
It's true. We love when there are no Debras. Hold on, I'm gonna pause for a second because I want to figure out where on the map I want to go. You know what? Fuck all y'all. I can get my Pulmarola regardless. Even if you don't give it to me. I didn't mean that. I love you all. Whoa.
Racer. Ooh.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I am a dog and I am going to die.
Don't do it.
This is a problem. Here's the
It
thing.
really is that Pomarola right now, huh?
Yeah! Whoa!
Don't let Fat Dog die.
I'm gonna try not to let Fart Dog die.
Fine, Fat Dog has extra lives.
It's true.
Oh heck, that was too late. You got the extra life.
I mean, I still have the extra revives anyway, just like from
Well, you have more of them now.
the base stuff. Does that mean you're gonna give me the guns? Are you gonna give Dog guns?
I do think it'd be very funny if Dog had gone.
I love it when Dog has gun.
It does make a lot of the screen into special effects, which is always nice.
They've added so many new items that make the screen go even more just colors, and I love it. Mandor Dog hook a gun. Exactly. Please and thank you. I wish that there had been a fucking floor chicken in any one of those. That'd have been nice.
Yeah. Well, we'll get a little time to heal up with the Pomarola from the flamethrower, won't we?
It's true. But I don't have the Bulmarola yet.
Oh no, how did that happen?
You're... Listen... Dog, please don't die. No, you absolutely did not. You Kayshurr'd me. And that's about it. This is a bad place to be for a dog. Bad dog place. I need to be in there, actually.
There was a visceral reaction there to you starting that bad dog. The dog has done nothing wrong.
Good night, stars. I love
Night,
you.
stars.
I'll try not to dead dog. No! Well, it's fine. We got those revives.
Dog was a little bit dead, but only for a second.
Ah!
Ah! Hey, there's a guy here?
There's a big skeleton!
Yeah, that's a thing? That's a Japanese thing, right? It's like a
Yeah.
painting?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're not worried. Is the main thing! These things are impossible. They have too much health.
Kayshurrr is a giant skeleton from Japanese folklore. According to Japanese urban legend, the large skeleton is made up of the bones of people who have died from starvation. They wander around the countryside at night looking for prey.
They hungry. Just give them some food. Moly moly. Moly moly indeed. Jesus Christ. Nope.
Oh, heck.
Well,
Yeah, we just didn't have anything like
none
hit,
damage.
like targeted damage.
Yeah.
We had lots of AoE, but we didn't have anything that we could target someone with and get them out of the way.
Yeah, that's okay. They can't all be winners. We love Poop Dog here, though.
Also, hi Peaches.
Peach.
Peaches said GG. Two G's.
Peach. Pimpch. The raw chicken. I love you. Alright, that is it for today, though. That's it. That's all. We're all done. We're all done.
Someone built the big skeleton man. Sorry.
I need pictures. Pictures or it didn't happen. Give the pics. Oh my god, so many people are on right now.
Oh, he's so big.
Um,
Scream spoilers. Big skeleton incoming.
Perfect. Alright. Y'all, tell me who you want to see. I got Flowers Empowered doing Baldur's Gate. Fifth Kalpa is doing some art. Melanie Pepon is doing some Going Under, which is a very fun game. We like that. Measy Pop is doing some Valorant. Dimply is doing The Legend of Zelda. Yeah, you can suggest somebody.
Oh.
Who you got? Who you got?
Well, it's like meeting new friends.
We do love meeting new friends. Sourdew is doing some Elden Ring.
Tool of Elden Ring.
Do love the Elden Ring.
Despite the FromSoft delay and
Please. I might have been watching more of that while I was
I
eating
figured
my
that might
snack
happen.
earlier.
Horrible.
Because I like to suffer. Alright, let's go. Oh, you were gonna say anything.
There's a bad man on the internet who plays video games very bad and he's real mad about it.
He's so mad.
We've been
about all
watching
of it
too much of him.
always. Sourdew. We're gonna go. It's not Fruity Spruce. Dang!
Other than Fruity Spruce, there's another one.
Dang, you got called out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Copy Cyril. Clearly. Going hog wild
Jeez.
over there.
Alright, but there are the raid messages. We're gonna go see Sourdough doing some Elden Ring. I like that some of these tags are screaming, crying, whimpering, crazy, silly, spicy, oh my god, help, shouting to heaven, begging, yearn for the mines, and washcloth sucker.
Oh no.
So that's cool. We will be back tomorrow. It may not be with Resident Evil 6. It might be with something else. We'll figure it out then. But yeah. Thanks everyone for doing stuff with us.
Thanks for going through this ordeal with us.
It's a whole thing. Baby's allowed to be a washcloth sucker. I think it's okay for BB to be a washcloth sucker. But, that's just what I think. Anyway, we're gonna do the raid now, so yeah. Bye, friends.